Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. But most importantly, if you would like to join the debate, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the discussion and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number one, please do not swear. If you do, you'll be ejected. And if you are, please do not try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. In a moment, I'm going to transition across to the Hangout as we do have Sleeping Warrior who has a few words to say. And one more time, if you are new to the channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. So first of all, I'm going to go to my photos. How are you doing, Sleeping Warrior? Can you hear me?
Good morning. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, give me a couple of minutes. There's a couple of things I just need to adjust if you want to chat.
Yeah, I am screen sharing some. If you can
Yeah,
get
that's
that
what I mean.
screen
Give me a minute to sort that out. So
yeah. And I suppose I'll start talking in anticipation of the swap over on the screen because I'm watching the live feed, but it's a little bit behind. Okay, so it appears that Al Kay and Miles Davis have gone up to St. Bees in the last 48 hours. And we've had a bit of a taster of what they have tried to do. And I'm not entirely sure why they went there. I'm assuming it's to measure the observation height because that seems to be the focal point at the moment. But it's really quite interesting what they show on the taster information that they give because mistakes have been made, boys. Big mistakes. And it's not mistakes on the personal side of things. It's mistakes as to how you've interpreted the evidence that you've been arguing with me over for the last however long. So what I'll do first is I'll show the little clip where they've got it from. This Ali B told me about this. I was in bed, so I don't know where this. I can't remember where this came from, but not to worry. Basically, what they're showing is that when he's on the top of the cliff, I mean, however high Google Earth says, I'm standing by it. I stand by the 35 feet claim. Okay. So I'm maintaining my position, gents. I am still arguing that 35 feet is relevant because this bit down here is measured at around about 22. That bit's around about 35, 36, 35. I stand by it because that's what it says. That's your model and I'm standing by it. Okay. But what's most interesting is when we get to the top part, Jeremy rather laughs candidly in the background when he gets to this bit. Now, Jeremy now accepts that this is where I was, right? But this has been really contentious for so long. But now Al Kay and Miles have gone back and observed the same thing. Now it's accepted, okay? So let's just put it on record and correct me if I'm wrong, but Jeremy now accepts that this is the point that I say I was at. I agree. Well done, Miles. Well done, Al Kay. You've got to the point where I was. Now he pans around like exactly the way I did. And oh, look, right? That basically all he shows is this bit, right? So this is as much as we get, but he shows that we can see the Isle of Man. Now, the contentious point is what the floaty land is on the far right. Because the claim is, from me, that that's island. However, everybody on the baller side all maintain that the land on the right is Isle of Man. Well, they're showing that we can see the Isle of Man. So I want to see the floaty land on the right-hand side, please, boys. Because I can bet you the bottom dollar. I'm not going to say a money value. I can bet you that the Earth's flat. That you've not got it in your footage. Why? Because if you can see the Isle of Man here, you can also see the Isle of Man on the floaty bit on the right-hand side where I said it was island. And I bet you they haven't got it. Why? Because the atmospherics are blocking it. It's not quite as good as what it was for me. That's enough to drown out island in the background. So when they pan to the right, it won't be there. But what they'll do is they'll say, you must have been somewhere else, Riley. You must have shaped it somehow. The simple fact is, from that location, Jeremy, Al Kay, Miles Davis, Rumpus, all them people, from that exact location, I documented that there was floaty land to the right, and I said it was island. You're documenting that you can see the Isle of Man. Where's the floaty land? Evidence, please. If you can't prove it, it wasn't Isle of Man, because you can see the Isle of Man. Where's the floaty land on the right? Because that'll prove, if you can see the floaty land on these conditions, it'll prove that it's Isle of Man. If you can't see the floaty land, it means that the distance that you were able to see through the atmosphere, the opacity of the atmosphere, was adjusted against you, but in my favor, and you can't see it because it was island in the background. Okay? So I'll make it clear. If you show the floaty land, it's Isle of Man. If you don't show the floaty land, it's island. Show the evidence, boys. I look forward to this because you're going to prove that it is island because you won't be able to see it. Okay? So then you'll be able to say, oh, maybe he was right after all. Now, I'm assuming that they took a tape measure because whatever they did when they went here, if they didn't take a tape measure and get GPS coordinates and Aunt Sally's name and address in her knickers and all that kind of stuff, we're not going to accept any of this evidence in any event. We're going to stick with mine because yours is equally as invalid as mine. But in any event, I want to see the evidence of Isle of Man, please, because we know that you've caught it in your footage. I want to see the floaty land on the right-hand side. No floaty land, no Isle of Man. That simple. I look forward to your video, Jeremy. I look forward to your admission. I look forward to Miles Davis and Al Kay doing exactly what they say that I did wrong. And I look forward to what you can and cannot prove. If you can't prove the floaty land, you lose. That simple. Right. Secondly, the show yesterday was the best show that we've had because it was totally tactical. There was no concessions. None of them gave any concessions. So we had, for those that don't remember and are not quite up to speed, this is about keeping up to date with the flat Earth debate. They haven't. Basically, we had two people in yesterday, and it was Rumpus and it was Paul Voigt. Neither of them would commit to what we're looking at on the evidence. Okay, and it doesn't really matter from my point of view because I'm ready to accept whichever one they want, provided that they're honest with the interpretation of the evidence. And it must match the evidence, right? And there's pros and cons for both. They both kind of support it. They've both got a little bit of discrepancy in between them. But all I want is for them to agree what we're looking at. And I don't care whether it's Douglas or Baldrine or Bala-Canal. But I want them to come to a point. Now, my position is it's Douglas, okay? Because it matches the evidence. All parts of it match. There's one little bit that maybe doesn't, but there's other explanations for it. Their argument is that it's Bala-Canal. I don't think it matches, and I'm reluctant to accept it. But if I have to accept it because they demand it using the bandwagon fallacy, I'll accept it, but I want a concession. I want them to pinpoint the part that matches the evidence. Okay? So yesterday, with Paul, we got down to Baldrine. And I wanted Paul to agree and admit and accept and concede that if we're going to if we're going to accept that it's Baldrine and Bala-Canal, I want Paul to accept that this Bala-Canal head here is evidenced on the photograph, which I'll flick to very quickly and move it up. Oh, hang on, that's the wrong one. Where has it gone? I'll have to go with this one. No, it's not there. I'll have to hang on. Let me dig it open. Let me dig it out rather. Oh, I had it. It's gone. I'll have to come back to it. All I'm asking for is that this head is agreed. If I'm going to agree that this is the land that we see, which I don't agree with, all I want is that you to agree that this is the head. If you're going to have this, you have to take this too. It's that simple. Now, this is my position. Okay? I'm not going to go into it. You all know the position. But if we do go with Paul's, right, this is where it starts getting interesting because let's deal with the curvature. Now, this is fundamentally the most important part because we're seeing stuff. And I am going to have to find Ranty's picture now, so bear with me. All right, so what I've done in this image, right, I've got the line of sight back to St. Bees. And what I've done is I have lined, let me get rid of that untitled place mark. That one, yeah. I've lined it back up with St. Bees so that we're looking at St. Bees, and we've got the line of sight, okay? And what I've done is I've put a lasso line all the way around all the houses that are on this Baldrine coast, this Bala-Canal Baldrine coast. And basically, if I get the properties for the distance there, according to this, it's 37.4 miles. And when I pull up the the mega flump calculator. 37.4 miles with an observer height of 52 feet. And I'm not going any higher because that's your model. So we're not going any higher than that. I'm not having any of this. You're at least 100 feet. No, we're doing your model and we're not deviating from it because that is your model. Okay. And what we're going to show is that the actual hidden height is 544 feet. So we're looking for anything that's anything above 544 feet being the value. Now, when we go back to the observation, when we go to this lasso lasso rope, we can show the elevation profile of all these houses all around here. So all around here, which is where Paul claims it is, the highest point all along there, you can see the red arrow, it's going all the way around there. The highest point along there is either this one at 442 feet or this, it's that one there, 442 feet, right? And all we need to do is get a value above 544 to see it. Now I can see Paul's he'll be spitting feathers now because he'll be saying, what about refraction? What about refraction? Okay, well, we'll address refraction. We'll apply the refraction figure and then it's out the window. We'll go with 443. However, when we go back to the evidence, the highest value you've got is 442. You're not even getting high enough to see the rooftops on the horizon of the image. So the simple fact is, even if this is correct, Paul, and we are seeing your part that you want it to be, all of the houses are behind the curve of the earth because we are not getting a value consistent with 443 feet. To see these houses, Paul, we need a value of about 650 feet. We need to be seeing an elevation of 650 feet because they're all evidence in the evidence. So even if we go with this, Paul, where's the curvature where's the compensation and the calculation for the curvature?
Just want to clarify what you just said. So in order for us to see any of the houses, the land itself would have to be in excess of 600 feet high. It isn't.
Yes.
Unfortunately, according to the calculations, we can't see any of it. We see all of it and the land beneath it. So what they're shooting for when they come and do their curve calculations is to get less than the number that we have just shown. In this case, 500 and something feet is how much is blocked by Earth curve. Therefore, everything below that is hidden. It isn't, of course. We see all of it and the ground beneath it and everything else. You know, we see all of it. So you can pick any house in that area and it shouldn't be seen. Even with refraction, it shouldn't be seen. It should be behind Earth curve and isn't. It's there.
So let's just put this into context so that we can narrow the angles of disagreement, okay? The highest elevation we get is 442 feet. And all the way around this curve, which is all of the houses in Paul's preferred location, all of these houses sit at 442 feet at their highest. The curve refraction calculator index says 443 feet. Even if there was lots of bendy like refraction, you've got to account for why we can see all of the houses here, Paul, not just that little one dot, because that little one dot is at 443 feet, if you can see it at all. But we're seeing all of the houses.
So yeah, so should we do any calculations? So should any calculations be done on this little town that they think it is, which it isn't, Baldrine, we will take the lowest house that we can identify out of this cluster, and we will be aiming for a figure below that on account of the fact that we see ground below all of the houses.
Yes. So even if we're going to go with Ballacanal, which is not my position, I don't think we're looking at Ballacanal, essentially because I don't think these are houses because they're too big. I think these are office blocks and like city centre shops and precincts and banks and stuff. But even if this is argued to be successfully that it's Ballacanal and these are all little houses, none of them should be seen. So why are they in the evidence? Okay, straightforward question. Why are they there? Now, obviously, Paul, I've just shown you that I've accounted for standard refraction. So that's out the window. I'm going to have to grab this call, Nate. Just cover for me a sec.
No problem. I'll do a few shout-outs. Why not? Got a few people saying, go to Red's Rhetoric if you want to find out about curvature. I don't need to go to Red's Rhetoric. We've got a photo of something in the distance with no curvature blocking it. No need for anything else at this stage. We're looking at this until you guys can account for the missing curvature. The curvature that isn't there. The curvature that's not blocking our view of anything. So, yeah, don't care about what Red Rhetoric's got to say about it. we can see there is no curve. We have evidence. We've got photography. Anyway, let's do some shout outs. Saunders, good to have you here, my friend. Thanks for being here. FE Mex, good to see you too. Gem Panda, thanks for being here. Really Petrelli, thanks for being here as well. Flatman, nice to see you. Tony Vincero, good to see you. Rune Thornson, thanks for being here. Mr. B, hello to you too. Peanuts Clark, thanks for being here. Everett Anderson, hello. Grim V, good to see you. Oh, been joined by a guest.
Oh, don't worry, I was just checking you actually got a proper hangout now. Anyway, take care.
How you doing? Good to see you, Alex.
Yeah, not bad. How are you?
Not too bad. Also been joined by Spurs Chemo. How you doing, Spurs?
Good morning. Good afternoon. Great to be here.
So, well, that's the end of my shout-outs then. Now you're here.
So what's going on?
Well, we're just showing that even if Baldrine is in fact what we're told it is, then it's supposed to be behind the curve of the Earth anyway.
How you doing,
What's
Chris?
going on
Good to have
with
you.
this observer height thing?
What's going on with the observer height?
Don't worry about it. I don't really want to know. I'll just listen.
What? Are we in?
Yeah, you're in. We hear you. Good to have you here.
Alright, how you doing, Nathan?
Can I carry on?
We were just in the other hangout. We were.
All right. So basically, it's still the position that even if this is Bala-Canal, it's all behind the curve of the Earth. None of it is visible. So the only thing that Paul can do is make this look like it's something that it's not by arguing that there's some evidence to support the suggestion that there is non-standard refraction going on. So we need to address what evidence is there to make the assertion that there is non-standard refraction in the evidence. Because without any evidence, we're not going to be able to accept the assertion that there's some kind of non-standard refraction going on. It was just a clear day. The opacity of the atmosphere was reduced. That's all it was. So, evidence, please, Paul. So it's either explain why we're seeing.
Just kind of clear it up, Anthony. We can see island. Is that what you're saying here?
No, in this instance, we're
Absolutely not. No.
We're not arguing over whether we can see island or not in this particular instance. What we're arguing, Spurs, is that all of these houses or buildings, whatever they are, regardless of whether they're Bala-Canal or not, and I've not dealt with Douglas, but if they're Bala-Canal, they're all behind the curve of the Earth. So if we were to get Ranty's red line, the red line would pass just above the top of that white dot there, because that's where the curve is supposed to be. So Paul has got to argue, or Rumpus, that there's got to be some refractive benefits or there's some refractive attributes to this evidence. But the question that we would ask is, where's the evidence that there's refraction going on to the extent that justifies him taking it into non-standard refraction? Because that's the only way that he can argue this.
Well, maybe Chris or Lottie can explain this for Paul while we're waiting for him.
I think it's fair to leave it to Paul and Rumpus unless they want to engage in it. Because I don't think it's fair to put it onto them two when it's Rumpus's argument and it's Thingy's argument, Paul's. So I mean, if they want to speak on behalf of Rumpus,
they tried to get me involved.
Talking to me like I'm the one who porn bombed you, dude, and you know I didn't. So you can cut that shit out. By the way,
bye, Grim.
No, come on.
Honestly, I really don't think Grim porn bomb.
I don't think he did either.
Grim won't be coming back in.
It's not the sort of thing he does.
Grim won't be coming back in.
Why not?
Because Grim is a disruptive influence. He doesn't do anything.
This is not your hangout.
He did do the porn bombing, and Grim is not a nice
There's no
person.
evidence whatsoever he did the porn bombing.
Stupid warrior. This is not your hangout. You know that, right?
Come on, let's not be rude now, Lottie.
He's not coming back in. It's that simple.
If you've got something to say,
yeah,
let's discuss the matter at hand here, yeah?
That's really unfair.
Tough. He doesn't behave fairly. All he does is goes.
Hold on. Sorry, what did you say,
And I
Chris?
don't
Did you say that's really unfair?
Once,
Your hangout,
right?
basically, now,
yeah, you
right?
better hide me from the broadcast because I'll bust your
Nathan.
shit. That's why it's...
Nathan, do you think this is acceptable?
Okay, that was pretty disappointing.
Lottie, did you not understand what I said to you yesterday? The bit about I'll do whatever I like. Did you not understand that? If you don't like it, you can sod off. That's your choice.
Listen,
do you want me to reiterate your choices to you, Lottie? You
it's
stay here
hard
and
to
you listen to me. You stay here, you listen to me and are subject to my rules, or you sod off. That's your choices. You have no say in
Well, we
this.
don't know
None.
the rules.
No say.
Arbitrarily,
If
and
you
you
think
put
it's
them on the
unfair
spot,
and
so
you
it's
don't
hard
like it, vote with your feet. Vote with
It's hard to keep
your
up with your
feet.
rules, Nathan.
I agree.
I make the rules. Do you understand that, Lottie? I make them.
Yeah, I also agree that is correct.
Good.
But when we don't know what your rules
Bitch and
are, and you make
liar.
them up, when you make them up arbitrarily, Nathan, it's hard to keep up with your insane, random rules that you
Don't
make
have
up
to
on a
like it,
day-to-day
Lottie.
basis.
No one's asking you to like it. How you doing, Mr. Flat Curve? Good to have you here.
I'm not saying whether I agree or disagree or dislike it. I'm saying it's insane for you to expect us to keep up with your insane rules that you just make up on a
There's only one.
day-to-day
The
basis.
only one you need to pay
You let us
attention
know
to is
beforehand.
don't swear, Lottie.
If
That's
you-
it. Don't swear.
you
That's
let
it.
us know beforehand, it would be easier for us to stick to them.
Yeah, don't swear. That's it. One rule. Don't swear and you'll be alright.
So it's just not swearing. Are we allowed to pawn bomb?
Maybe you're deaf. Do you want me to say it a third time? There is one rule. Don't swear. If you swear and you
Okay, so
rejoin, that's the second rule, which takes effect after the first. Do you understand the two rules? Don't swear. Don't try to rejoin if you swear. That's it.
But
End of
you're
rules.
also not allowed to pawn bomb, right? Because you banned him for pawn bombing.
I haven't said why I've banned him. I haven't given any reason. I've just kicked him out. I've said nothing. He came in and said, "You think I pawn bomb you?" Very telling. I didn't say a word.
Oh, that's
Well,
what
I
I
said that actually.
Well-
He was in here earlier, Nathan, and I said to him, they think that you've pawn bombed it.
Right, I haven't said that. If you want to draw that conclusion for why I'm kicking him out, you're fine to come to whatever conclusion you like. I'll kick out whoever I choose. For whatever reason I choose, at any time I choose, and if you
so
don't
that's the
like
right
it,
rule.
you can sod off.
That's why.
That's your choices. Is that clear?
That's fair enough.
Is
That's the
that
rules, why it
clear?
was.
No. I said that I think he pawn bombed him, and he's pretty much.
No, you said you saw in a live chat that he said that he'd pawn
yeah,
bombed
he
it.
pretty much admitted it in chat, and he's admitted it to other
He
people.
hasn't
That's what you're
admitted
saying.
So I think he's
You
pawn
have
bombed
no
him.
evidence for that.
Ah, you lied
Okay.
again.
We don't work on
did
evidence, do we? We work on perceptions because I've got evidence
my-
that it's flat. We don't accept that.
Another Riley quote for the ages. We don't
Yeah.
work in evidence.
We don't work on evidence. We work on perceptions because I've got evidence that doesn't show curvature, and you guys perceive that it somehow does. So if we're working on evidence,
Quotes
you
for
guys
the
can't accept it.
ages. We don't work in evidence.
No, you guys don't work on evidence. You work on perceptions.
Your facts
So
are useless here.
I asked you why you did kick him out.
Because he's a disruptive influence.
That's not against the rules, Riley. And your name's not
Maybe
Nathan. Your name's
Chat. And he doesn't have to explain or justify himself to you.
No, you don't have to answer for him. I'm asking Nathan
Right,
if he
I
doesn't
don't.
want to.
He doesn't have to
can
answer
tell
to
me.
you either.
So shut your fat mouth then.
No, I don't have to. I don't have to answer, but he doesn't have to address himself to you either.
Dude, this is not a buffet, Riley. You don't have to just help yourself to every single conversation.
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry.
If it was a buffet, I would eat all the ball earth evidence. Get in my belly.
Yeah.
So, anything to
And
do
you
with
could
curvature, boys?
digest it.
Anything to do with towns that should be hidden behind curve? Anything to do
Yeah,
with?
but before we begin, we need to establish what the rules are and why people are being removed, so
Well,
that we
Grimby's-
don't get removed or banned.
Grimby's
And I'm
not.
not-
I'll give it a fourth time. Do you want a fourth time, Lottie?
Yeah,
Don't swear. If you swear, don't come back. That's the rule.
Okay,
But also, the extra rule should be not to annoy Nathan.
Cat, 1 second. Your usual rule is if you swear, you'll be ejected, but you are welcome to come back to the next show. So he didn't swear in this show, so why was he removed?
For reasons that I'm not going to give you.
So there
Right
is an
then, so
extra
that's
rule.
the answer. You didn't tell us that before, did you?
But it's none of your
You're just making
business.
up these
Lottie,
What
what
business is it
part
of
of
yours?
if you don't like it, you can sod off, don't you get?
Riley, I'm not
Do you
conversing with
feel that by saying this to me, you're going to make
You're
any
breaking
change
up.
to my decision? Do you think that you can appeal to me? Do you think this is some sort of court where you can appeal? You can't appeal.
Well, that's what Riley did all last episode.
No. In terms of how this hangout
Mark
runs,
concession.
I make the rules. In terms of how the
Mark
debate
treat.
runs, you guys make the rules on how the
Mark-
debate goes.
Mark treat.
You guys, not me. You make the rules. You debate however you like. You come in, you snipe people, you talk over people. You all do that, and I let you. Yeah? In terms of who's here, I'll decide.
That's fine.
So I think we need an update to the rule. That's what I'm saying.
Anthony,
No, we
what are
don't.
you saying? Are you
You
still
just need to be
sticking with the
respectful and
35
be
feet?
general nice people, and that's it.
Anthony, are you still sticking with the 35 feet?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Okay. So what happens
35.
when Miles and Al come back with a GPS reading, or maybe even a manual
I don't care
measurement?
what you come back with. I'm sticking
But
with
what if they
35
do?
feet for the lower.
Because
I'm sticking
I get
with
a little
35
message
for the lower
in the
elevation
night
and 52
saying that
feet for the higher
35 feet
elevation,
was
and I'm not
nonsense.
moving any higher
How do you know you were at 35 feet?
because that's what your
Did
model
you
told
d-
me I was at.
No, that's what Google Earth told you.
Yeah,
You're
that's
at.
your model.
It's not our model. It's Google
Yes,
Earth.
it is. It is your model. and
We
you-
do not have a say at what Google Earth put out.
Correct, but it is your model.
Obtusity.
No, accuracy. It is your model. You're
How
standing by
obstinate do you have to
stand by
be?
it, and you're allowing that you're moving the goalposts.
Accuracy. Right,
You're
can you
being
tell me
fundamentally
where you
dishonest.
got those heights from then? Let's be very accurate about it. Where
No,
did
let's
Google
just
Earth get
apply
their
your
heights?
model's facts. It's not difficult.
We're not
Why
presenting
are you-
Google Earth as our model.
You are. All of you do.
No, we're not.
You
we're
all
not.
do.
We're absolutely not.
You all do.
You're misrepresenting that. You're saying
You
it's
all
our
do. I
model.
have never once seen any ball earther say, "Here's a different model for the ball Earth we live on." You all use Google Earth.
That's the
You
Google Earth doesn't
all
account
use
for.
Google Earth.
Yeah, but doesn't Google Earth say you can't rely on the altitude?
Yeah,
just
and
misrepresent-
on that
Yeah,
basis,
so
we give
so
them
the
a
It's
model
not
says that you can't
fully
rely
accurate.
on that in that
Yeah,
particular.
and on that basis, we
There
might
you
give
go.
them a foot
Why are
here
you
or there,
relying
but
on
we're not
it?
giving them 100 foot.
Didn't you already
Okay.
concede your height? Why are you
A
back
foot
there?
or here, right?
Right. So that, like I say, I'm standing by 35 feet for the lower observation and 52 feet for the higher, and we're not going any higher than that.
And
Because
what
that's what your
happens
model
when
says.
Alan Miles come back with an accurate elevation height?
I wouldn't give it. It doesn't matter because
But
it,
What do you mean
that
it doesn't
will
matter?
matter if
It's
they're wrong,
crucial to the whole
No.
Isle of Man question.
No. We're
God.
proving your model is.
Am I really saying this?
Doesn't matter whether he comes
The
back
Isle
with
of
an
Man
observation
question.
height that's different.
How
I
do
hope
you
it
fly
does,
Earth?
because
Good
if
to have you.
your model is wrong.
Riley, do you not understand that if you're saying the model is Google Earth, but the model itself says you can't use this measurement, it's not accurate, then you're,
Then
and
your
you're
model
using
says
that.
it's not accurate.
It doesn't. It's a disclaimer, isn't
It's
it?
not. It's not a model.
So what is your model? You keep saying it's not, Chris. Hold on, Chris. What is your model?
It's Google Earth. It's
Chris, what's your model
So
then?
you're saying
What is your
We're
model?
saying
If
it's
Google
not.
Earth isn't, what is?
No.
How
Hang on, let's
obstinate-
be
I
clear.
don't understand what the problem
Let's
is.
be clear.
your
Lottie,
model as well, because you
Lottie,
guys use it all the time too.
So what
Lottie,
is your
let's be
model,
clear.
Chris?
Who is saying it's not your model?
Chris, and I'm asking, what is your model?
Yeah, it's not our model.
Yeah, you said that. We've
Working
heard it's
model
not your
makes
model.
predictions.
I've
It's
heard
not a
that. So now
predictive
tell us what
model,
is your
right?
model. What
Who
is
is
your
saying
model?
that, Chris?
What can we
That's
refer
not
to
A
then, Chris?
predictive model.
everyone you spoke to, Riley, has said it to you.
It's a
blatantly.
navigation aid,
So
basically.
are you the
So who
spokesperson for
has
everybody,
the
Chris?
actual model then, Chris?
No, I'm not a spokesperson for everyone. No.
Right.
No,
so is
what's
it
the
your
model? What
opinion
is the
that
model?
everybody
What
does-
should we scrutinise then? Do you not have a model?
Riley.
Yes, we have a model.
What is it?
It's very
Lottie, hold on. What is your model then, Chris?
It's the globe heliocentric model.
Yes, and can we see that physically? Can we have one? Do you have an accurate globe that I can go
I
and
can't
buy?
hand you a solar
You have
system
a
at the
flat
moment,
Earth.
Nathan. No.
You
Yeah,
don't
you have a
have
flat
a model. You're telling me you don't have a model.
Google Earth out the window.
So you've
now.
got a model in
I'm sure
theory
you're
that
familiar with it,
exists
Nathan.
in
It's the
the
one you
ether
said
of
got
existence, but you
indoctrinated
don't have a
with.
physical model.
Nathan,
So let me get this
It's
straight.
pretty damn
Chris,
not-
let me ask.
have
Are you
a
going
model.
to reject all of the science that's gone into Google Earth and all the computer programming?
Absolutely not. No.
So why would you dismiss it so flippantly if it's not your model
I'm
anymore?
not dismissing it flippantly. You're trying to say it's something that it's not.
It's your model. Everybody on
It's
the board.
not a
Nathan, have you ever seen
predictive
anybody on the board
model
side use
for
anything other than
the
Google Earth?
globe?
Anthony, you're trying to take an elevation of something that tells you the elevation isn't accurate on that
Right,
model.
so we'll give you a couple of feet either way.
There you
Yeah,
go.
where is your model? Where's your model actually? Where
You
is
don't
your
need a model
model?
It doesn't say it's
What do you mean you
inaccurate for
don't need a
mathematics.
model? Of course you
It's
need a
flat.
model.
You don't
Why
need
don't
a
you go
model.
and make
It's
some
flat.
solar observations and
as well.
fire them into a model and see what comes out?
Oh my god.
So with regards
If
to
you
the
wanna
the
use our
observer height
model,
not being
Riley,
accurate,
Riley,
would
you
you
saying-
agree that it may be
Make
down
a
as
single
well as up?
prediction.
Chris,
Riley,
Alex,
Riley, you know you say you're
if
trying to use our
Google Earth
model.
is saying that their model isn't accurate with regards to the observer height, do you agree that that can also mean it can go up as well as down as well as up?
Yes, it can go up and down,
No,
up and
so
down.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah,
So-
probably
so-
would. aye.
But Riley,
Yeah,
if
it's
you want to
probably
use
an
our
error
model,
margin there somewhere, I suppose.
hang on a sec, Riley, you say you want to use the model, right? Our model, or whatever, however you want to describe it.
Yeah,
But
your
then
model.
you've been given data where you get accurate
Google
data.
Earth's not a
Our
model.
model. Hang on, Chris. Where you get accurate data from our model, which
Yeah.
Paul's shown you, where you get accurate elevations,
Yeah,
and you refuse to take that on board.
because we're testing your model.
No, but you're testing the wrong part. You're testing
Testing Google Earth.
We'll
where
give
that's
you
not accurate. for
we'll give
elevation.
you 5 feet either way. On average, we're
But
sticking
how
to
do you,
the
is
values
it?
in
But
Google
yeah,
Earth.
but does Google Earth say it's inaccurate within 10 feet? It doesn't. It's more than that.
Well, I don't know what it is, but
But
it
it
doesn't
is a lot
matter.
more than that. You can see it just by looking at the terrains are all wrong sometimes when you're looking around Google Earth.
Oh, are you an expert on height observations?
an
now?
expert on height
Accurate
No, no,
observations.
let's
This
hear
is
him.
what
Let's
I'm
hear him
saying.
tell us.
There was a
This is what's been
shuttle
told
mission
to
that
you.
Let's
took
hear Alex tell us.
elevation readings. I can't
I
recall
want to
what
hear
the
this. I want to hear Alex
resolution
tell us
was
about how
something
wrong it is. That's what I want to hear. Let's hear Alex tell us
16
about how
meters,
wrong Google is.
if I recall.
Oh, okay, Nathan. I've just told you. I mean, do you want me to say it again for the 4th time?
Well, for the second time would be nice.
Your elevation
Yes,
must
please.
be
it'd be like
Second time,
14 time, and it'd be
uninterrupted
like
by
100th
anybody, would be
time
nice
this
to
has been
hear
told
Alex
you
tell
on
us
the
how
The
wrong
elevation
Google
must
is.
stay
Yes,
at
please.
Did
We've got Chris talking straight away. This is how it works. I ask Chris. I ask Alex a direct question. Chris talks for 10 minutes. That's why I'm asking you to
Chris,
repeat it for the
continue.
second time
Sorry,
on
mate,
account of
sorry.
the fact that you've been trolled while you said it first. So, without interruption, if the rest of the panel will let him, I'd like to hear Alex explain why Google doesn't work.
30 meters.
Yeah, hang on. Can I just actually answer? Yeah, I've just explained that Google says that the elevations are not accurate. So you shouldn't take elevation measurements off there as accurate.
Yeah, but everybody does. That's what
No, hang on. That's my explanation. So now, Nathan, do you understand why I'm saying that you should use something that is accurate from our model?
What is your model then
The globe Earth.
for elevation?
Yeah, so we've shown you maps with
You
actual
didn't listen to the question, Alex. I've just
I
said if we want to get accurate elevation from
Yeah, it's
your
accurate,
model,
accurate.
where do we get that? From your model? Which
from
model do we
those
get?
maps. I mean, I just told you that.
No, maps are not models. Models.
tell you
No.
again?
You don't seem to
Can we
understand what a
tell you
model
again,
is.
Nathan, for the
You
6th
understand?
time?
Let's just establish. Do you understand what a model is, Alex?
Yes. Something
Right.
that makes
So you're
predictions.
saying that we can't get accurate elevations from this particular model. So I'm now asking which particular model can we
okay,
get
so
accurate
Nathan,
elevations
I'm
from
telling you,
as we're
in-
looking at curvature, which involves
Okay,
elevation, so it's very
listen.
critical. I'd like an accurate model from
Okay,
you.
well, okay,
Please
well,
tell
you
me
have
which
to wait,
one.
'cause, you know, 10
Chris
years
has
ago we
failed.
didn't have
Now I want to
Google
hear
Earth.
you say we don't have
Nathan,
one.
Can I finish?
Yeah?
You can let me finish.
Yeah.
Right. So 10 years ago, we didn't have Google Earth, or 20 years ago, right? So would you not think in 10 years the elevations probably will be accurate when they've had enough time to input the data?
Couldn't
It
care
is a
less.
lot of
What about
money.
today, as we're looking at it today? Do you have an accurate model of the Earth with accurate elevations, Alex?
What, like an entire model like Google Earth? With accurate
I'll ask you
elevations?
again. Do you
Maybe
know what a model
someone's
is,
done one.
Alex?
I don't know, Nathan. Maybe there is one. Someone's made
Maybe
one. The
isn't a
data
yes,
all
is it,
available,
Alex?
isn't it? It's
Maybe
just a matter of
there's
modelling it.
maybe Godzilla's real. It doesn't make any difference what you say. Maybe. What matters
what are you
is, can you
talking about,
provide me
mate?
right here and
I'm
now
saying
with
I
an
don't know.
accurate model
Nathan,
with
let me finish.
elevations, and you can't.
He's going to talk over me. Okay.
Yeah, because you've just
No,
told me
no,
maybe.
we
That's
did.
not
We
a
gave you models with
maybe is
accurate
not a
elevations.
definitive
Do you
answer
know
to my
what a model
question, is it,
What,
Alex?
Nathan, what is a model?
Maybe is a
What
crap
model?
answer. Maybe
What
is
is a
an
model?
I don't know.
What
Why are
is-
you
no,
even
no, I'm gonna
talking
tell you there is
when
one
we're
for
talking
that.
about
What is a
models?
model?
We've already
Nathan,
had
what is
Chris
a model?
fail. Now we're having you fail.
Nathan,
There's
what
no
is a model?
accurate model.
Well, you can pretend I'm failing, but
Yeah, you are. There is no accurate model. That's our point.
What is a model?
You're
Nathan,
making
can
it
you
for
answer
us. That's why
We
it's
have a
laughable.
highly accurate model,
No, you
Nathan.
don't want to
Oh,
hear
here we go.
it 'cause you
No,
know
shut up,
you're gonna
Alex.
smash
Now we've got
it.
Chris
What
back
is a
on
model,
the...
Nathan?
Chris is back on the case. We have a highly accurate model.
No,
Let's
don't
hear all
switch.
about it from
What is
Chris.
a model, Nathan?
Let's hear
You
your...
answer simple
Alex, you've
questions.
already
It's too
failed.
hard.
Shut up. You're at the back of the queue.
What
Let's
is a
hear
model,
Chris have another attempt.
Let's hear you answer what a model is, because I want to know. You asked me the question, I answered it. Do you remember what I said? What is
So
a
I
model?
don't really
Nathan?
know. So
You
let's
don't
move on
really
to
know, do you?
Chris.
So you're asking something
Chris,
you don't really know.
do
about
we
what it
have
is.
an accurate model with elevations?
What's a model? What is a model? Yes, there is an accurate model of elevation. Paul's been showing it to you. The maps, that's a model. What is a model? Do you know what it is?
No, that's a map.
No, you don't. Okay.
So are you a retard?
No,
Do you understand
no,
what
are
a
you
model is or not?
Nathan,
Clearly not.
Nathan,
You're asking me what a model is,
seriously,
and you're telling me a
stupid you
map's
are.
a
That's
model
ridiculous.
because you
What is a
are an
model?
idiot.
What is a model, Nathan? You can't answer it, can you?
I know what a
Yeah,
model
but
is,
you
Alex.
shut me
You
up.
do not. That's
like
been
you can't answer
demonstrated
where
to
the
the
beat
audience
is.
when you
You've got
keep
to
telling
give
us that
Gallifrey,
Paul's
mate.
showing us models when he shows us maps.
must be.
So you asking me the question is preposterous. I don't have to
What a
answer
model
your
is?
question that you
Alex,
don't know the
clarify
answer
with your
to.
model.
Do you understand
Give us
that?
your model that you agree that is
Clarify what you mean by model.
what you tell us the word is model. You give us the model that you
I
say
did. I did. You
works.
said you don't accept
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, you
No,
tell us what your model is. So far, we've got Google Earth. That's not our accurate model. So you tell us what is.
No, it is. It's accurate for a lot of things.
Ask me
not
if I've got a
for
model,
don't know
Alex.
what
The
the
audience
model is.
wants to ask me, so maybe you
It's
should ask me
accurate
if
for lots
I've
of
got a
things,
model.
just not
Ask me if I've got a
elevation.
model, Alex.
Sorry, say that again. I was.
Ask
talking
me if
over
I've got a model.
Yeah, I just want you to tell me what a model is. Then I'll ask you if you've
I haven't
got
got
one.
one. I haven't got one, Alex. I don't
Right,
have a
we know
model
that.
of flat Earth, unfortunately. Let's see if you can admit the same.
What? Say it again.
If you've got a model that's wrong,
No,
Alex,
no,
you haven't got
if
a
we're going to
model.
have a conversation, we do have to let each other talk one at a time. Otherwise, it's just impossible. So, what are you asking me, Nathan? Now that you haven't answered what a model is, because you probably don't know what it is, what are you now asking me? He's not asking me anything. He's just going to go quiet because he's embarrassed himself.
I've already
Well, I
asked
just
and had
find
an
it
answer, Alex. I don't need to ask it again.
preposterous
It's been heard,
No, just
documented,
embarrass yourself.
recorded,
You're either
listened
gonna
to by
have
the
a
public.
conversation or you're gonna
There's
make
no
little
need to
snide
repeat
comments,
it.
but do you know what
I
I mean?
don't
Just
need to
have a
repeat things 6
conversation,
times.
Nathan.
I
Be
get
a
my point
grown-up.
across.
It's embarrassing. Embarrassing yourself.
I just find it highly unusual that the ball earthers would reject their model when it suits, but
I'm
when
not
it suits
rejecting
them,
the
they
model.
apply
You're
it.
asking us to reject Google Earth for elevation heights.
No, you are
and,
rejecting
we've
Google
already said
Earth.
they're not accurate, so then you're saying,
You
well, then
are
you've not got a
rejecting it,
model.
not us. We are trying to use it for the elevation heights,
Depends
and
what
you're
you want
saying
to
no.
apply it for, doesn't it?
You are rejecting it, not us.
I'm not rejecting it.
We reject it
Google
out of
Earth-
hand and are trying to utilise it to show where it doesn't work. You are rejecting it for us to use to
I'm
utilise
not
to
rejecting
show
it,
where
I'm
it
just
doesn't work.
accepting what Google
You
Earth
are the
say
ones
about their
rejecting
own
it.
elevation.
We are trying to utilise it to make a point, and you are rejecting the points we make
Why
using
didn't
what
you
we
just
call
Google Earth
get
your
Nathan?
model.
Accurate,
an elevation
Nathan.
height originally, and just we
Oh.
wouldn't have to.
Because we rely on Google
Wonder
Earth for the elevation height.
Ah,
Listen,
And it tells you can't
you're
use
flat
that.
earther. Why would you rely on Google
wait,
Earth?
because that's your model that we're testing. We're flat earthers.
How can you
Your
test
model.
the flat Earth on a globe
We're
model?
flat
If
earthers.
it's not
and
your
that's
you test
model,
the flat
take
Earth
us
on a
to your
globe?
model.
How
Say
can you
it
test
does.
the flat Earth on a globe?
Nathan, Mike Jones has asked in the side chat, could he ask a question? So let's give the microphone to Mike because he might have something to add.
Fair enough. I mean, Lottie actually asked first, so you go ahead, Lottie, first, then Mike.
Hello.
Hey, Steve.
Sorry.
Hey. I would just like to.
Hold on, Steve. Lottie
say
was in the
something for a
queue.
moment.
Hold on, Steve. Lottie, you wanted to ask a
Can you
question. Go
introduce
ahead.
me? Nathan?
Lottie, introduce Steve. Come on now.
Oh,
Lottie wanted to ask something. He asked from in the side chat.
Well,
What did I say,
Hello.
Nathan?
You
Welcome,
said,
Steve.
"Can I ask a question?" That's what
Yes.
you said, Lottie.
Oh, I forgot. There's been a lot
No,
of.
it was Mike.
No
Well,
worries.
it's not
You
a
go ahead,
question, I
Steve.
just
Off
want
you
to
go,
say
Steve.
something,
No
wasn't
worries.
it?
Sorry to interrupt you.
Right, give the mic to Mike.
Yeah, I was just wondering why Anthony and Nathan conceded the height as 30 meters from the surveyor maps, but now they're backtracking.
Good question.
Why the switch?
Because we're
Can
testing
you
the model.
sorry, my kid's making a lot of noise. Can you just say it once more, Mike?
Yeah,
You're
I'll answer
probably
that.
upsetting at Nathan with
I'll
all this
answer that.
negativity.
I'll answer that. It doesn't really. What we're trying to show is that your model does not do what you guys believe it does. Now, if there are two contradictory observer heights, one from Ordnance Survey maps and one from Google Earth, then it creates confusion. But the model that you guys all worship, adore, and believe to be
How
true,
do you expect every
I
single
don't care
elevation
whether-
that
I
you
don't
just
care
happened
whether
by the
Ordnance
sheerest of
Survey-
accidents to take video
I
of the
don't
Isle of
care
Man
whether
from
Ordnance Survey is
just to
accurate or
appease
not.
your
I don't
delusional
care whether Google
fantasies?
Earth is
Yeah,
correct
Riley,
or
you're
not.
the only one who's
All
confused
I'm interested
because
in
it's telling
is
you
does
not to
Google
use that
Earth,
data,
your
and you're
model,
using it.
Does
You're
your
confusing
model
yourself.
do what your
It's
model
not,
tells
it's not
us
a
it does?
model. It's
And
not
I
a model.
assert that it doesn't.
encompass everything
you
about the
expect-
globe Earth model. It
We're
doesn't.
not testing the observer height with regards to Ordnance Survey. We're
Anthony
testing it
Riley,
against your model.
Google Earth is not a model.
Yes, it is. It's your
No,
model.
it isn't. It's not a model.
Do you know, I find
Do
it
you know-
really
a model-
amazing that when
you know
you
what's funny, Anthony, is you don't even know what a model is. The model has to explain everything that we see, which includes the sun and everything like that. And you
Yes,
don't
it
even have
does.
that. You don't even have planets. You don't even have Mars, anything like that in Google Earth. So it's not a model. Google Earth is just a
Model of Earth.
It's navigation aids,
No.
It's a
basically.
model of Earth.
isn't it funny?
no, yeah, but it's not a model. in
It's
the
not a
sense of the word that
working
you're
model.
using.
No.
Exactly.
It is a model. It's
And
just
that's
not
what
a
they're trying
working
to
model,
inflate.
as you keep pointing out
Yeah.
to us. There's lots of things about it broken.
Well,
So it is not a
depends
working
on what you want
model.
the model
It
to
is
reproduce.
actually a
There's only
model.
so much
It's a model of
a
Earth,
virtual
Steve. It's a model of Earth that doesn't
of the Earth
work.
can do.
So it is a non-working model.
But why are
Well,
you
it does
guys
work.
backtracking?
What's
when
for
you
it, the
already
application
conceded?
that it has, Nathan? As you well know.
I find it preposterous, Nathan, that ball
Yeah, it's
earthers
pretty
would drop
preposterous, this
this
entire
like a hot
thing, yeah.
potato when it doesn't suit them.
No, you're just misunderstanding. You're using
No,
data.
no.
We're telling
We
you,
understand your
everyone's
model.
telling
It's
you
not that
not
difficult to
accurate.
work
It's as
out.
simple
We
as
understand.
that. And
We
you just
No,
talk,
I really
you just
don't.
want to
I
talk
don't think
about
you
it
do,
around in
Riley. I really
circles
don't
for the
think you
next
do.
year.
We understand your model. It's not that difficult.
No, I
You
don't think you do.
understand it, do
No,
you?
I really don't think you do.
If there are two different
Whatever you
measurements
want.
of the
I understand there should be
elevation,
Earth
Riley,
curve based
then
on the
there's a
circumference of the
discrepancy,
Earth,
right?
Chris. There should be Earth curve. Forget what
There's
Google
something
says.
going on there.
Based on the circumference of the Earth, maybe you'd like to bring up the maths, Anthony, for that village maybe that we just did. So based on the
Oh, do we have
circumference,
to?
forget your
Really?
model,
Riley
just the
doing that?
mathematics.
Wow.
There should be Earth curve blocking our view of that village.
I'm not doing
Now
that.
you're all trolling me while I point out that forget your model,
yeah.
just the maths. Just the circumference of
think
the
your
Earth
daughter's trolling you
dictates
right now.
there should be
Which is
Earth
everyone's
curve
trolling you.
in the way of our observation. There isn't. There's no Earth curve in the way. So if you want to
Can you
say,
show
okay,
us
that's
your
not a model, the model is just basically...
Show your model, Nathan.
Show
See
us your
this?
model. Do you have
See
a
what's on
model? Do you
screen?
have something to replace our model?
See this
Which
on
is
screen
old and
now,
dilapidated
right?
and
544 feet based on the geography of what you say Earth is and its circumference. Forget models. based on Earth, nothing to do with models, just Earth's circumference, there should be 544 feet.
Of Nathan's wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way.
Nathan's wall.
Correct. Not Nathan's wall,
Nathan's-
Earth wall. Earth wall based on the mass of Earth.
Nathan, where I got
Based
accosted on the 1,000 feet,
on
do you remember that?
Earth,
You
not
accosted me, I had
Nathan's
no idea
wall.
what you're talking
Do you see
about.
what's on screen? Does it say Nathan's wall? Or does
Yeah,
it say
yeah,
Earth
yeah,
curve
well,
horizon?
Maybe they're 1,000 feet
Does it
tall,
say
yeah, pretty much.
Earth curve?
Sure, everyone agrees.
See where it says Earth curve,
Hey,
morons.
just-
Hello?
Yeah,
Are you
it doesn't
all
say
illiterate?
wall, It doesn't say Earth. Wall,
Where does it say
says
Nathan's
Earth.
curve on there? Morons?
No, Nathan's wall. It's called Nathan's wall. From
Where does it say Nathan's
okay.
wall on there? Dick
It's
brain.
going to be renamed in the future.
Sorry,
when this is
let's just have
documented.
Alex
And you're famous.
point out where it says Nathan's wall.
No, I'm
That's a
saying
hill.
in the future, Nathan, the scientific community, when they clock onto these debates, they'll be.
Well, they'll clock on to the fact that there should be 544 feet obscuring our view, and isn't.
Hold on. Look how many borders.
300 feet of Nathan's
Yeah,
wall.
but Alex,
No,
you're
544
able to answer any question. All
feet
you've done is really
obscuring
got
something
Lottie,
that's
got
400
Chris,
feet
you've
high,
got-
and we see, Alex.
got Steve.
Yes, we see it. It's in the photograph.
I asked.
According to Paul, and where he wants this town to be, it should be completely hidden, based on the maths and the geography of Earth, based on a simple equation,
told you,
based
Brian.
on Earth's circumference. Nothing else. No model needed to compare, just based on the circumference. It shouldn't be there, and it is.
Okay,
Silence
so
from the dick brains.
Are we testing the globe model on the flat Earth, or are we?
I'll repeat it
testing-
again, Steve.
Are we
Forget the
testing
model.
globe on the globe?
Steve,
Is that what we're
just for
doing?
Steve's benefit.
are we
Just
doing,
for
Nathan?
Steve's
Because you've got
benefit.
no flat earth
Forget
arguments
the
there.
model. Earth
Scott,
has a
just
circumference,
nitpick,
24,100 miles, and based
Yeah.
on that maths, we should
Super.
have 544 feet hidden.
Do you have any other maths to it that we can base
Don't need
on,
them.
which would explain
Earth's-
what you're saying?
Earth's
Do you have any other
circumference is
maths?
set in stone as far as you morons are concerned, so we'll use
thank you
Earth's
very much for
circumference
the
if you
ad
can't
hominem.
agree on a
Thank you
model.
very
No
The argument
problem.
already, Nathan.
Based on the physical maths of Earth, there should be 544 feet obscuring our view of that town. To put it
Depends
another
on,
way, we
elevation,
shouldn't
doesn't it,
see
Nathan?
any of it, and we
Depends
do.
on the elevation, though, doesn't it?
No, we're not. We're discounting models
do you
because
mean
we can't
no?
reference
What
them,
do you
can we?
mean no?
As you've just pointed out, Chris, we can't use Google Earth to reference this. So I'm going to use the circumference of the Earth. And according to the circumference of the Earth, according to you morons, we should have 544 feet hidden. We don't. We see all of it.
I think we should just leave it en masse, guys. You know that?
Go on then. Bye bye. Concede defeat. It will
Yeah.
be brilliant. All sod off when I point out how much Earth curve should be blocking your view. Brilliant. Perfect
Wait,
timing.
You don't even have a
Excellent.
model, and you're trying to use.
Not model, Chris.
Globe.
I'll say it for the third time, just for Steve, who's deaf. Not
Yes, say
the
it for the
model,
third time.
based on the circumference measurement
What circumference measurement is that, Nathan?
of Earth. You moron.
What is Earth?
But maths-
You think it's flat, so
but
I'm not
maths
going to
doesn't prove
take your
anything,
word
right?
for what the circumference
Well, it is flat in the picture. I'll say it again for you, Steve. It is flat in the picture. We see things that, according to the circumference of Earth, should be hidden.
No.
How many
No,
times do I have to say it to you before
That's a
your
bit
stupid
semantics there. It
brain
looks-
gets it?
It looks flat.
All right,
It
Steve,
is.
It
let
is
the big-
flat. We
let the
see
big boys
those
talk now,
buildings.
Steve.
Big boys,
We
yeah.
see them because they are there.
Should we welcome Rumpus?
Hello.
Welcome, Rumpus.
Yeah, I can be here for a moment.
Let the big boys.
Steve, you should go debate about video games. I want to know, how high do I have to go up before the Earth starts balling up?
You broke up there.
Thanks
Primo.
for that contribution.
Hey, in your model, Rumpus,
That's
how
not
high do
Primo,
I
is
have
it?
to go up before the Earth start balling up?
Are you trying to say how high do you have to be before you can see a noticeable curve?
No, before you
You
start.
need moon rockets for that.
Rumpus, how high do you have
You
to
said
go?
it's a ball.
Rotation.
How high do you have to go to before you see Bro Sanchez?
No, I don't
You need
really
moon
understand.
rockets.
I don't understand what by balling up. What do you mean by that? Do you mean when you can noticeably, so the human eye can noticeably see a curve? Is that what you're saying? How high
Curve
do you have
and
to be?
spin. Curve and spin. They go together. Curve. Rumpus, hand in hand.
I'm looking at
How
it.
high?
Anyway,
runs away from you.
I can give you. I've got a detailed. I'm actually in the process. About a few months ago, I was actually in the process of doing a detailed video on exactly this issue of how high you have to go before you can notice the curve. And actually, if you use a high-resolution digital camera like a P900 or something, you can actually see it quite low down. In fact, I was going to do this on the Rob Skiba video of him going up in a balloon, and you can actually see the curvature of the Earth, and the math says you can do this if you use
How
high
low?
resolution.
How low? 35 feet?
No, probably.
Yes,
I think
35 feet we see no curve. So you're saying we should see curve from 35 feet in these examples, but we don't. So what are you talking about?
right.
Riley, put some
Should be an
clothes on
obstruction of the
before you
Earth
put-
curve.
Hold on,
Therefore, we
listen,
see Earth curve
you've got to-
obstructing. Correct?
You've got to understand the difference between curve
Obstruction,
across your
yes.
field of view.
Earth curve is
Riley,
obstruction.
put clothes on, please. Turn
So
your
we see no
camera on.
obstruction in these images, do we?
Thank you.
There's a big difference between curve across your field of view and seeing curve along your field of view.
We don't see any curve along our view. We've established this.
Right.
We don't see any
Established
rumpus
what?
in this image that we have. There's no curve obscuring our view, is there?
Across our view, you mean?
Right, no. I've just clarified that I'm not saying
right.
across. I'm saying in front of us, there should be
Right, along our
obstruction,
side, along
and there
our
isn't.
view.
Is there rumpus? No obstruction.
Of what?
Of the well, for
Okay.
example, the buildings that we were looking at yesterday, none of them should be visible, should
Of
they?
course you should.
Bala Canal, we looked at it for 2 hours yesterday. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Right. All of that town should be hidden.
No.
Not a little bit of it, all of it. Should be obscured, as you put it,
No.
by Earth curve.
Why
It
not,
isn't.
why not Rumpus?
Okay, well, I'll explain now. I'll show you a little thing
Rumpus,
here.
just before you go on to this, Rumpus, could I just ask you to answer the question that Nathan said? How low do you need to go before you can see the curvature of the Earth?
Well, it depends on the resolution. If you use a camera, I mean, visually, if a human being does it, you actually, it's difficult for humans to see it less than about 40,000, 50,000 feet because they haven't got a line drawn on the sky. But if
So
you use,
why does Mick? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt to be rude, but why does Mick West say that you can see it for 500 feet if you're saying it's 40,000
you
feet?
can, if you use a P900, a high resolution camera, and then draw a line on the image, you can actually see it.
Yeah, we tried that, and Ranty proved that didn't do what you think it does.
Well, Ranty can't even draw sea line horizontal, so I don't think, I'm afraid, and he thinks that you add on the observer height when the tide goes down. So I'm afraid Ranty's opinion about anything is absolutely useless.
But what I'm
No
asking is,
value
why do you
whatsoever.
say 40,000 feet, but Mick West says it's merely 500 feet?
Well, you didn't listen to what I just said. I said if you're a human being without the aid of being able to draw a line on the sky, it's about 40 to 50,000 feet. If you use a camera and you can draw a line on the image you take with that high resolution camera, you can go down to about 500
But
feet.
what I'm saying is, Mick West says 500 feet with an iPhone should do it.
I suppose a high resolution iPhone might be able to just about do that.
500 feet.
Just about. It depends on your high resolution iPhone. What's the resolution of that thing? Is it?
But you're saying
many
40,000
pixels?
feet.
No, you didn't listen to what I said again, did you? I said if you're using your eye, you're looking out of a window of an aeroplane using only your eyes because it's very difficult to. In fact, I've got an okay then. How about this? This will bloody show you what the problem is. I've got a line here. There's a model of the Earth from Douglas. Now tell me, is that line straight? Can you see this thing going from down here, Douglas, to St. Bees? Do you think that line is straight?
I don't know. I don't know what straight is. I'm stupid.
Well, even a stupid person knows what's straight. Does it look straight to you?
No, I'd say it's got a slight curve like the Earth.
It's a banana.
Well done. You've seen this before, and indeed. But if you didn't see that and didn't know, and I put that on if I put that in the sky ahead of you, you would just say, "Oh, that looks straight."
I
But
would
there is
say
a
that
very
straight lines are
tiny
curved
curve
lines
on it.
on a ball Earth.
Sorry.
I would say that straight lines are curved lines on a ball Earth.
That didn't understand what that meant.
Straight lines are curved lines on a ball Earth, longitude and latitude.
Well, straight lines are straight lines.
No, straight lines are curved lines on a ball Earth, longitude and latitude.
Well, they're not straight lines then.
No, they curve around
What
the
you're
Earth. Don't
saying
they?
is what you're trying to say is that a line. If I was to follow the surface of the Earth between two things, that would become a curved line. Yes, it would, but it's not a straight line. If you move along the Earth at all, you're not moving in a perfectly straight line. You're moving in a very, very, very slightly curved line. It's not. Straight lines don't become curved lines. It's just that the moving along the surface of the Earth looks like it's straight superficially, but in fact it's curved. Depending on, but of course you're looking along the line. Just as if you picked up a straight billiard cue, for instance, and you did it left to right, so you looked across it. You had it one end and one. Let me finish. Let me finish my sentence. And then you turned it round, you would suddenly see all the variations in that cube going up and down, being much more magnified, because looking along something, particularly on photographs of things like the sea, you can see, 20, 30 miles sometimes, particularly if it's a big mountain away, but you can only see 6 miles left to right. So the distances that you can see left to right are only 6 miles. The distances you can see along, 50 miles or something. So of course you get more variation looking along the line of sight than across the line of sight. And of course, flat Earth, I've got a whole video I can do about this, a big explanation. It's a little bit involved, but you should be able to understand it, even you. But anyway, let me just get to this point about the, because I can't be here for very long. If
you can't be here for very long, can we not go to the evidence? Because I
am.
No, but I want to know why we can see the town that you guys want it to be by like an hour.
Because you've got the observation height wrong. Because you don't understand that Google Earth.
You don't understand what I understand.
Let me finish my sentence.
Stop making rubbish.
Let me finish my sentence.
You don't understand.
Let me finish my sentence.
No,
because you don't understand. Because you don't understand that Google Earth
don't understand what I understand, Rumpus.
Yeah, but
say it again. You do not understand what I don't understand.
Anthony, but let him obviously just let him say what.
Jesus Christ!
Let him say what he has to
Far
say.
4 words into my sentence.
But
right, can I just finish my goddamn sentence?
Let him get it on record. Is what I mean.
Jesus Christ!
Stop being ad hom then.
I'm not. Look,
you are. Okay. You don't understand what I understand, Rumpus.
No, I do understand exactly.
No, you don't. No swearing. I'm looking forward to your explanation for why we see the light town.
This is what you don't understand.
Oh, here we go.
Google Earth Pro or Google Earth is like a low-resolution, small-scale map. And I can show you here. This is a map here, Ordnance Survey map.
No, it's not. Maps have elevation heights on them, don't they? We have elevation heights though. With the Ordnance surveys, we have maps that have elevations, and we've already established on the show, Rumpus. Rumpus, we've just established that Google Earth doesn't have accurate elevations.
Higher resolution.
It's not a map if it doesn't have accurate elevations on it.
And you don't call small-scale maps inaccurate. You just say they're small-scale maps. And if you want more accuracy, you go to a larger-scale map.
By
Google
definition,
Earth is like a small-scale map. It's valid for what it says. Google Earth say it's only accurate to plus or minus 30 meters. So
what you're saying, Rumpus, is it can only be accurate on a flat map. It's accurate when on a flat map, but when it's on a ball, the altitudes aren't, the heights aren't accurate on a ball, but they are on a flat map.
It's not accurate to 30 meters.
Sure, not accurate on a ball, but accurate on a flat map. Okay, thank you.
No, the Ordnance Survey maps are accounting for the curvature.
So in that case, the point
is, what you don't understand is that Google Earth Pro is like a small-scale map. The Ordnance Survey thing is like a high-resolution map. Google Earth is perfectly valid for what it says. It says it's only accurate to plus or minus 30 meters. And you can look here. Here's the picture of this the lighthouse. Google Earth says that it's at 23 meters above sea level, and you can clearly see that it isn't. So Google Earth is wrong.
Why have you got the lighthouse at 23 meters when you just said that it was above?
No, I've got the height of the lighthouse at 23 meters. I'm talking about above sea level.
Sorry, did you just say you've got the height of the lighthouse? Do you mean the height that the lighthouse sits on the ground?
Yes, that's the lighthouse is 23 meters from top to its base.
No. What's the height of the base? What height does the base sit on?
The base is 44.5 meters. Google Earth
you said
from here. Google Earth.
It's not what you just said, though. Yeah, correct. You just said to the top of the lighthouse.
No, I didn't. Listen, there were two measurements.
The height of the lighthouse is 23 meters.
And also, Google Earth gives it as 23 above the level of sea. It's two figures for two different things.
So that's, hold on. So it's 23 meters above sea. The base sits at 23 meters then, not 40.
No, that's what you can... Right.
Let me ask it concisely, Rumpus. What height... No, shut up and listen to my question. Shut up. Does the base sit at 20 or 40 meters?
It's 44 meters above sea level, but
what? The base or the height of the lighthouse?
The base is only 23. And
so the base, which we see, let's just get it clear, Rumpus, the base we see. So who cares how high it is? We see the base of it. That's what we'll be measuring for. If we do any further measurements, we'll be looking for the base, not the top.
Absolutely.
Good.
And the base is at 20. The base is at 44 meters.
You're not being
so I don't need to know what the height of the lighthouse is. Just to be clear, never tell me the height of any lighthouses. All I ever want to hear from you, Rumpus, is the base.
It's 45.5 meters.
That's not what I want to hear. I don't care how tall it is.
The
We see
base
all
is
of it.
45.5 meters above sea
20,
level.
25, right?
The base is 45 meters
Buttery
above sea
biscuit
level.
base.
The
You just said two
base
different
is
measures. You said 20
45
and
meters
40. You
above
said it was
sea
20 plus
level.
20.
The base is 45 meters above sea level.
Okay, can
Which
you
sea
show me
level?
that on
Earth says
screen?
it's only 22.
I want to verify it. We've had lots of different figures. I want to see a verified measurement of 20 to 40. I want to see which one it is on screen for the base.
Rumpus, which
The
height
base is
are you talking about?
45 meters above sea level.
Rumpus, which sea level? Maximum sea level?
Mean sea level.
Mean sea
Right.
level now. Okay, so we've got
So I've never said
40
anything else.
meters above sea level. Fine. If that's what you
The
say it
base
is.
of the lighthouse is 45.5 meters above the mean sea level.
And what's the authority for that, please?
When the lighthouse manufacturers who built Northern
Sorry,
Lighthouse
just
Board
answer the
have to give
question.
the height of the lighthouse.
I've just
light.
said I don't want to hear about the lighthouse height.
Yes, look, if you look at this diagram here, we know where the bloody light is. We can work out where the base is from knowledge of the height of the
What?
damn.
Hold on, this is not a
But
bloody
that-
map or a model. This is a bloody website.
Right.
No,
what's
it's not.
the authority
No, this
for
is
the
my
height of the sea
page.
level?
I
Rumpus.
got this information off the Northern Lighthouse Board, which has
We've already had this
legally
conversation.
dropped.
The Northern Lighthouse Board is not a map.
The Northern Lighthouse Board.
I want to see a ring around that lighthouse. Do you understand me, Rumpus? If you're going to dice up the bloody observer height to the nth degree, when it comes to the observation, I want to see that height on a map.
They use ordnance.
Do you understand?
survey to
I'll
work
make a
out what that
website
height
saying
is
Anthony
mean.
Riley was stood at 10 metres. And then I'll make another one that says he was made at 10 metres. And I'll make another one, then I'll reference them and say that that makes it real. What you've just told me is the maps give us the heights. Now you're going to some bloody website. If you want to tell me how high it is off the ground, show me on an Ordnance Survey map. Don't go to a website. I don't care what they say. I want to see the map with the height on the map. That's what I want. Nothing else will do. You have set this benchmark.
This is based on Ordnance Survey. When you do you understand, Nathan? When you build something, you go to the surveyors. Have
So
to
do it. Go to the Ordnance Survey and show me the base height. So do it.
When they built this lighthouse,
Do it.
They went to the Ordnance Survey.
Go
and said,
do it. Go
"Where
to the
should we
Ordnance
build
Survey and
this
show it me on there then. If that's what the builders had to do, that's what I want you to do. Go to the Ordnance Survey and show me.
This is based on Ordnance Survey, and you can see visually, that Google Earth is wrong.
Rumpus, please.
You can see here visually, Google Earth is wrong. Visually,
Rumpus,
there,
listen.
straightforward evidence in front of your eyes.
Can you
Doesn't show the height.
The evidence, please, for the height of the. I'm not on about the height of the lighthouse. Where's that? Where's that number? The 45. Where's that
Right,
come from?
if I was allowed to explain it, I would show you here, but Nathan
I can see it's on a website. It's not from the Ordnance Survey. Where does it show that this is Ordnance Survey saying this?
Because the Northern Lighthouse Board, when they built it,
No,
had to use the Ordnance
this is
Survey.
not Ordnance
They had
Survey,
to use
Rumpus.
Ordnance
This is
Survey
the
information.
bloody Lighthouse Authority.
They have got a legal obligation.
Don't care. I want to see it on an Ordnance Survey. Don't care. Want to see it on an Ordnance Survey. That's what we're using. You've just told us all about how Ordnance Survey maps account for curve. They do the Lighthouse Association account for curve?
For my interjection.
Do the Lighthouse Association account for curvature?
Does the Lighthouse
Take a
what?
breath.
Someone's I can't hear you above the row.
Do the Lighthouse Association account for curvature or make maps?
I miss the second word each time.
It's
someone else
because
is
Lottie's
talking.
trolling the hell out of us.
What?
Do the
Take a breath.
Lighthouse Association
Association,
make
right.
maps or account for curvature?
Well, they go to the Ordnance Survey.
Right,
and
so
they
let's
say,
do that then. Let's go to the Ordnance Survey like they do. That's what we'll do, Rumpus. Very good advice. We'll do the same as they have done to create their website. We'll go to the source, which is the Ordnance Survey.
Listen.
Not listen, that's what we'll do. Until you do it, I'm not going to let you talk. Don't care. Ordnance Survey is what I want you to put up on screen. Don't care. Not interested. If you want to get one of these targets, you're going to go to the Ordnance Survey. That's it. End of
How do you
story.
know the height above water then, Rumpus?
Sorry?
How do you know the height that the lighthouse sits above water?
Because right, here we go. We know that because the Lighthouse Board have a legal obligation to tell you the height of the light.
Yeah, not the ground it sits on though. They tell you about the height and they're legally obliged for the height, right? But not the ground it sits on, which is what we're going for.
They built this thing, so they know how tall they built the lighthouse. It's from
How do they know? They know from the Ordnance Survey, so that's what we will use. They know from the Ordnance Survey map, so that's what we want to use, Rumpus.
They have got access to high resolution Ordnance Survey maps that I don't have access to.
Tough.
Right.
Then
Listen,
don't reference
Rumpus,
it.
But listen, Rumpus, on your photograph, you've got a red bit of text at the bottom that says base at 45 meters. How
Yes.
do you know that, please? Can you show
Right.
where you got that value from?
Right now, okay, here we go. This light here has a legal obligation to be at 65 meters above sea level. This is published, checked, verified. If it wasn't the case, they'd be sued, they'd be prosecuted, and they'd have to fix it.
We're not interested in the height of the light. I've said it
the
so many
lighthouse
times it's
light-
making me annoyed. I don't care about their legal obligation to document the height of the light. I couldn't care less. I want to see the height that it sits on a map so we can reference other things on the map. Simple. That's the standard you have set. Not me, you. You have set the standard with Anthony Riley's target height, not me. Now, if you can't get access to the data, I couldn't care less. I'm not going to let you go to the I'm not going to let you go to the Lighthouse board just because you can't afford the data or don't want to buy it. I don't care. You have set the standard. If it's now beyond your price limit, don't reference it in future. Or we'll stick to Google Earth and their heights.
Do you think they don't understand the building they built?
Yeah, I think the Ordnance Survey understand the land it sits on, which is what we're looking at.
Rumpus, listen, Rumpus, what he's saying is if you're going to make me use the Ordnance Survey value at my end, it's only reasonable that you use
And they used it at their end. What do you think they did? They used the Ordnance Survey at their end.
So let's check that. Let's verify that then. Let's verify it with the map itself.
Let's be honest, they didn't use Google Earth,
They had to get from Ordnance Survey what height to build the lighthouse. So the only people they could go to were the Ordnance Survey people.
So let's go to them. So let's go to them then. We'll go to them then. That's what I'm saying. They get accurate data from the Ordnance Survey. If it's good enough for the Lighthouse Association, Rumpus, it's good enough for me. If they are happy with it, I am happy with it. So if they're happy to use the Ordnance Survey, I'm happy to use it because you have laid down a benchmark that is what we use for heights.
And that's what they used.
Oh, finally.
Okay, so now Anthony Riley can use the Ordnance Survey maps. Yay!
Right, and so the point I'm trying to make on a bigger scale is
But I want
so
to,
the resolution of Google Earth
we want to see
is
the
like
height
this
on the
box
Ordnance
here.
Survey of the base of the lighthouse.
Survey is much, much higher. So that in fact, the resolution Ordnance Survey is such that they get an accuracy of their elevation to 3 centimeters on the Isle of Man. 3 centimeters. Google Earth say 30. So what are you going to pick? Are you going to pick the people who can give you a 3 centimeter accuracy, or other people who say no, we can't do it to 30 meters? You pick the one that says 3 centimeters, you morons. Jesus Christ.
You morons.
Flipping morons. I just can't believe they think this is a point to make. What a bunch of...
No, we want to use the Ordnance Survey maps. That's it. You have laid down this benchmark. I don't mind how many times it has to be said. You've laid down the benchmark, and now you're telling us that it's good enough for the authority of lighthouses, and I'm happy with that. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us. I'm happy to use the Ordnance Survey. I am not happy to use a secondary source, which is the Ordnance Survey reference that the Lighthouse Association have used. I am not happy with that. Someone who, the cleric who put it onto the website might have got it wrong. So I want to check the map itself.
They don't know the height of things. They have to go to Ordnance Survey to get the
You have to
information.
prove the height of it. You can't cite it from a... Right, if you're going to use Ordnance Survey against me for my height, then we're expected... it's okay for us to use Ordnance Survey against you, and you haven't proved it.
Yes, this design would have been referencing the Ordnance Survey. You can't go and build anything without doing that.
Get the Ordnance Survey map and show us it on the map. That's
It's
what Nathan's getting at.
He said it costs
I don't have access to the very expensive...
Oh well, let's move on.
Oh,
No
give
problem.
me a
No
break.
problem. If you can't do it, Rumpus, for whatever reason, I'm happy to move on and just ignore your point entirely.
Yeah, you've
But
already
you don't
conceded it,
think- you
Nathan.
don't
I think we
the
should
Northern
move on.
Lighthouse Board would have gone to the Ordnance Survey to find out the height they had to position the base to get the legal height they had to oblige. You don't think they were going to go, oh, where are we going to get this information from? They go, oh, well, cannot think. Where would I go? There's only one place in the country that has this information. Well, we won't go there. No,
We should
of
go
course
to
they
the-
went to the Ordnance Survey.
No, I'm saying we
That's
are
where
going to go
they got
there.
their
We will go to
information
the Ordnance
from.
Survey like they did. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us. Now, let's get it straight. With the observer position, we've spent days and days and days talking about multiple methods to measure it, including and not limited to using fence posts to get a gauge of scale. So that's the length you guys want to go to on the observer height. All we want is to see it on the map, and you don't want to do it.
Yeah, see what? Yeah, because
I'll tell you, the base of... I'll tell you, Rumpus, you've asked me a question, now I'm going to answer it. What we want to see is the base height. The base height. Don't interrupt me, Rumpus, I'm answering your question. What we want to see on the map, the Ordnance Survey map that you guys have brought into this discussion, is the base that it sits on. That number, if it's 40 or 42, I am happy to plug that into the maths so that we can find a value less than 42 metres as we see below the lighthouse. Not the top, the bottom.
Yeah, the
That's the
bottom,
value
yes,
we'll
the
use,
bottom.
and we will be looking for a figure lower than it.
Yes, you want. So the fit is 45, actually, not 42.
Yes, so if the figure
The
is
base- the base of
45,
the
when we
lighthouse is
reference it on
45
the map,
meters.
if it is 45 on the map, the number that you are trying to achieve in the refracted hidden, if that's what you choose to use, as opposed to the actual circumference of Earth, what we will be looking for is a refracted hidden value less than 45 meters, because we see below it. Not above,
We do, yes.
not the light,
We do see
not
below,
the
yeah.
sky, not the land behind, the base, and
Yeah,
below.
absolutely. The base, I'm absolutely you're with
Good.
you on the base.
So we now
Absolutely
need an
right.
accurate measure for the base on a
And
map.
we have, because the
No,
National
we have the
Lighthouse
document
obligation to
that
provide
is
that.
alleged to be it from the Lighthouse Authority, which is open to error, could be a clerical
it's
error.
not.
I don't
They
care if you
publish- you can go
cross-reference
to
it
their
and find the
website and
same
they will give you
information.
exact
They could have all
elevation
referenced the
and they
same
will tell you
website,
exactly
for all
what-
I know. However, if they have referenced the map, we will reference the map.
Well, they've got access to the high resolution 0.2
And if you
meters.
don't, I'm happy to move on and forget this point entirely.
Well, that's because you're an idiot. And
Yeah.
they're-
No, I'm
should
not
be
an
able to
idiot.
forget this
I'm
whole
saying
thing
that the
entirely.
standards will be the
That's
same
That's what
on
Bob
both
from
sides.
Ghostbusters was saying.
If we
Because
use
we-
Ordnance
no,
Survey for the
Barrett,
target
right.
height and dice it up
Anthony,
for
we-
days, we'll
very
use
close
it
to 33
at least
meters.
once. No cross-referencing, no tape measures, no going back to the location like Miles has done.
You know what we
Just
could do,
use that
right,
one
is just
source.
wait
But we
until-
will use
until
that
the whole
source
UK is
and
mapped
only
using
that source
lasers,
at the
which would be
minimum.
like this year.
At the minimum.
We already have the Ordnance Survey that maps it to a resolution of less than 3 centimeters. That's easily the thing to do. And Google Earth say
So go get
use
it.
that if there's
So
any
go
dispute.
get it for the lighthouse. Go get it now.
Well,
Or
I'm not-
shut
no,
up.
I don't have £100 to spend on a very high resolution
Tough.
Ordnance Survey.
I don't care about
I'm
your
happy
limited
to believe
budget.
that
Don't
the
bring up things
Lighthouse
that you can't
Authority will have a
afford.
legal obligation
Don't
to
write
give the
checks
correct
you can't
information
afford to
and
cash
do so.
then, Rumpus.
Yeah,
If
no,
you
if
can't
you've been
afford
smashed, man, if you've
to
been
use this
smashed,
source of
just give it
information,
up,
don't
dude.
use it. Stick to
Give it
Google
up,
Earth like we
Nathan.
were.
That
If you
is-
can't afford it, don't bleat
That's
to me
pathetic,
that it's
Nathan.
too
Just
expensive
give
to
up.
Don't think
reference
the
it
Northern
thoroughly.
Lighthouse Board have
I
got
don't
legal
care
obligation
if
to
it's
give you the
too
right
much
information.
money.
You think they're just
We
making
weren't
it up.
using it till
Either,
you guys
Nathan. You look like
introduced
an
it.
idiot.
Now it's
You've
too
been
high a
smashed.
cost.
Rumpus couldn't give you any more than that. It's so obvious.
Yeah, he can. He can give it me on a
Anyone
map,
could understand
Alex.
it.
That's my point.
Whatever. Even
He can
Bob
give it
from
me on a map.
Ghostbusters
He just can't afford it, and I don't
Even
care.
the flat earthers are rejecting this. You're
No,
making
he
us-
can give it me on the
making
map
yourself look
or
ridiculous,
nothing.
man.
That's the
I'll
standard
tell you
you've
what,
set.
Nathan, I'll ring up the Northern Lights Board or send them an email and say,
No, go
can
and get
you
the map.
verify that the
Go and
base
get the map.
of your lighthouse
Paul
is
managed
where
to get a
you
free
say
trial,
it is?
so I'm sure you could attempt it at the very least.
I'll tell you what, I'll email the Northern Lighthouse Board.
I
to
don't
ask
care
them
what the
if-
Northern Lighthouse Board have to say about it. I
They
only
will base
care
it- they will
what is
say- I'll
shown
tell you what
on
they
a
will say, they'll
ring
say,
on
yes,
a
from
map.
our ordnance-
That's
from our
all
measurement,
I
the
will
Ordnance
accept.
survey
Other
we
than that,
did,
I will continue
they-
this point, stopping you and blocking you for the entire show, Rumpus. I don't
Yeah,
care
well-
what the Northern Lighthouse Board
Yeah.
say, because
Good.
what
You
they'll
don't
say is
care
we
what
use
a
the
legally
Ordnance
obliged
Survey,
authoritative
like you
source of
use the
information
Ordnance
say.
Survey for the target. Height, for the observer height.
What
can
So
you do,
you've
Rumpus?
used it.
What can you
The
do?
Ordnance Survey
Exactly, I mean,
has been
this
used
is
by the
idiocy on a
target
grand
by the
scale,
Lighthouse
isn't it?
Association.
Yeah.
If it's good enough for the
Refusal to
observer
accept
position, and
information.
it's good enough for
But
the
this
Lighthouse
idiocy has
Authority,
just been
it's good enough for us to
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
out now
No.
for the
Lost
base of
it
this
completely,
lighthouse.
yeah. Lost it on this
Time and time
one.
again, this is another case of ballers failing to provide flat earthers with what they ask
So
for.
it's no Spurs. So you don't understand what
Every
Rumpus is
single
saying,
time
Spurs.
there's always an excuse.
So
Why
you don't
you
should we
don't
do
understand
know
what
what-
Rumpus
so-
is saying, Spurs.
It's half a
First, you don't
story,
think the
half
Northern
a
Lighthouse
case.
Board have got an
Half a
obligation
cup
to give
full
the,
of
the
rubbish.
legal obligation to do,
And
give
when
the
we-
right
when we
information?
keep saying I
ask
don't
for
care
just
about their
bring us
legal
what we
obligation.
need.
I don't
Oh, we
care,
can't do
Rumpus.
that. You don't want to
I want to
listen,
see it on a
you
map.
don't believe,
I
just
don't
believe.
want to see it on a
£100
website.
for the
I want
map,
to see it on a
Spurs,
map.
that-
That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about maps. You're saying the
I'll
map
email
that
them.
you're saying
I'll
the Ordnance
email the
Survey
Northern
map
Lighthouse
accounts for
Board.
curvature, so
And
we
I
can
would say, how
cross-reference
do
it
you
with
work
other
out
things
the
on the
base,
map.
the
We
height
cannot
of your
cross-reference
lighthouse?
anything from a
And then
website
tell me
about a
how
lighthouse.
it's
really
It's
cared about
useless.
this,
I don't
this
care
argument,
how
you
much
could go and
Rumpus
pay
fights
for
this
the map
point.
yourself
He's never
with
going
those,
to win it
those
ever.
super like share whatever things
Yeah.
you get.
Rumpus.
Yeah, put the donate. That's what you
just
should
said
use your donations for. To improve
It's
the
not
train.
necessary. We've done the
Go and
test.
buy the map for us.
We've
We can
done
go and
our
talk about
test.
it.
We've proved
Rumpus.
there's no
But you need to
curvature.
prove it for yourself. You need to prove
No,
it.
you need to show us.
I don't need to prove anything to myself. The
It's
photo
flat
shows the
Earth,
Earth to
guys.
be
It's
flat.
really important, right?
End of
Pay for
story
the
for
map.
me, guys.
That's
Rumpus, let me
Why
just
don't you
pick it up on what you just said there.
present your information.
Rumpus, let me just pick it up.
I think you should buy the map.
Oh,
You've got
Rumpus,
lots of
listen.
calculations.
I'm listening. I'm trying to hear you, Anthony. It's very difficult.
Sorry.
Just one question, Rumpus. You just said that you were going to email the Northern Lighthouse Board to ask them how to work out the height.
No. I'll ask them.
I don't want it to work it out, Rumpus.
No, I'll just say, please give me the base of the Moorgold Lighthouse, and they will say, well, presumably if they're cooperative,
I'm going to phone up somebody at the. I'm going to phone up somebody at the caravan site, right, Rumpus? I'm going to phone them up now. Someone at the caravan site, and ask them to tell me. I'm going to ask them to tell me the height.
The question that you need
of
to
his
ask
observer point, and you will accept that, correct? Hold on, Anthony. Hold on.
Hold
on. I'm going to ask Rumpus unimpeded.
The way they do that is they use the Ordnance Survey information because they don't know things about the Lighthouse Board simply build lighthouses.
I don't care about the Lighthouse Board. I'm not going to hear it anymore. I don't care. Don't care what the Lighthouse Board has to say on this subject. Couldn't care less.
I tell you what,
I'm interested in the maps. You're saying the Ordnance Survey accounts for curve, so we'll use that. Nothing but that.
You're just telling them we can't do that. You have to get it.
We can. I've given you the information.
I don't care. I want to see it on a map. When Paul referenced the observer position, I had to get up to my big screen, look in a ring, and confirm or deny if that item, i.e. Anthony and his camera, sat inside that ring. I want to do that for the lighthouse. Nothing but will do.
Well, then, if you don't trust...
We don't care,
Rumpus, again, no, I don't. I don't want to, don't need to, don't have to, and we don't use that as a standard. We use maps. We use maps for elevations, in this case Ordnance Survey. That's what we'll use. That's what we'll use, Rumpus. Ordnance Survey map. Find the height on that.
If you want a rigorous assessment of Rumpus's claim, guys, why don't you get the map and test what Rumpus is saying?
A thing that was building a large object like that would not go and get an Ordnance Survey information to do that.
Like we will do.
Not to be honest, Rumpus.
Like we will do.
Look for a suitable site to build a lighthouse, and someone bloke said probably on that flat bit of rock there. That's probably.
But they have to know what the height is. How are they going to work out what the height is? They're going to go.
As I've said for 5 times, we don't care what the height of the light is. We don't care about the height of the light, Rumpus. We are caring about the land it sits on. So I don't care about their legal obligation to publish the height of the light. Do you understand that, Rumpus? I couldn't care less how high the light is. It makes no difference. We see all the lighthouse to the base and below. So what we will get in terms of an accurate measurement is a ring with a number on a map, like we've done for the observer position, not the Lighthouse Authority.
They had to know how high to build that lighthouse.
Don't care.
Right, Rumpus, listen.
You must get that. You must understand that. Just
about the
tell us you understand that.
A child of 8 could understand this.
Please understand this. You understand that, Nathan.
You're making yourself look absolutely stupid.
Rumpus, how much time do you have left? Because if we're not going to get anywhere on this point, can we talk about the curvature point with the town that's below the curve?
Well, okay. What are you making yourself look like, Rumpus?
Okay, quickly. Sorry, I'm a bit loud, am I? Right, the point.
Rumpus, do you think you come off good in these debates?
I have no idea. Right, the point is that we've identified where Anthony was in the second location, his elevation, and he's about 33 meters. If you add on the tide and everything, he comes out to 35 meters, which is about 115 feet. That's the figures you should. That's the figures you should be using inside your Metabunk calculator.
No, you're not having any more than 52 feet unless you can prove it.
Right, no, you said you'd give me 100. You said you'd give me 100 feet.
I've already demonstrated you up here, Anthony, that
he's now trying to take 115.
Cannot be relied on. You can see the size of the boxes
they're using your model, Rumpus.
Yes, it's a low res. It's like using a low res map, a small scale map. We have the option of using a high res map or a low scale map, and for some reason,
you can have 100.
Using a low res map.
Hold on,
you can see here the boxes. You can see here the boxes that Google Earth use and the resolution of the Ordnance Survey map. You've got the resolution of the Ordnance Survey of 3 centimeters, and you want to use something that even admits itself it's only accurate to 30.
Is that on low tide? Is that 115 on low tide?
Difference.
Rumpus,
you want to use
the figures.
Rumpus,
your premise.
Is that
agree with that? I'm fine.
Is that on low tide, Rumpus?
Yes, I included low tide, but I don't know the exact tide conditions.
It's about 7 meters, give or take.
Oh, right. In which case, they're slightly higher than that. Okay, for that day.
No. Well, 108 feet is what I have, and I imagine that's high tide. So
no, he did it at low tide, so therefore you take it on. You add
yeah.
So I've worked out from looking at his video exactly where he was for the second video. You can work it out from the beach, the shape of the rocks that he's looking at here, and the same shape as in front of him.
See it on the video.
So we're now going to dissect up the observer position again. So having not got accurate data on the target, we're now dicing up the observer height again.
Yeah, you
Is
should
that
have
right?
taken some pictures, Anthony. You should take some pictures. They're high resolution. They're just better.
No, I
than
shouldn't.
Video.
I shouldn't.
Yes, you should.
No, I wasn't doing an observation.
Panoramic photographs.
So we've accurately identified the target height. We've accurately identified.
No, we haven't. No, we haven't
and then
accurately identified the
very
target height
accurately
at
done
all.
that.
No,
Very
I haven't seen
How is it
anything
very
to identify the target.
Okay, so it's not accurate. That means none of it's accurate. Okay.
No,
Great.
we haven't
that's
seen
my
a map
point.
yet.
If it's not accurate when I do it, how is it ever accurate to show that there's curvature?
Hold on. What do you mean by it's not accurate when you do? I didn't understand that statement.
If it's not accurate when we use Google
What's not
Earth,
accurate?
you have
Hold
to.
on. Hold on. What's not accurate? What are you talking about?
If the observer height isn't accurate when it says,
Well, it's within. We've got it within a meter or so for you. I'm convinced you're within a
Rumpus, I
meter.
know you don't understand my point, so I'm trying to tell people that do understand it. If it's not accurate at 52 feet for the observer height on Google
I mean,
Earth,
Google. So when you say it's not accurate, I mean Google Earth isn't accurate. So you're not using the right words here. You didn't say what you're saying is that Google Earth isn't accurate.
stop being a pedant.
No,
What
I'm
I'm saying
being.
is, if
I'm
it's
focused
not
on the
accurate-
detail.
Rumpus,
I'm
shut
accurate
up.
in my analysis.
If it's not accurate at 52 feet on Google Earth, how can we ever test the apparent curvature of the Earth?
Because we don't use Google Earth. You use the Ordnance Survey information.
But we're
Because that's
testing
accurate
your
to 3
model,
centimeters. 3 centimeters, Anthony. 3 centimeters.
So can we see
Right.
that accuracy for the lighthouse that we're looking at, please, Rumpus?
Exactly.
That's also very accurate because that's also based on Ordnance
You
Survey.
haven't
Let's
got
see
it
it.
to prove, have you?
Based on,
all-
I'm not interested in what it's based on. I want to see the
people who
actual
built the
Ordnance
lighthouse
Survey
know
map.
exactly how
So when
high
you
it
go
is,
on about
and
it
they
being
know
accurate to
exactly where
within
the
3
light was,
centimeters,
therefore they know
Anthony,
what the base
I
is.
want to be able to hear you say this lighthouse height is accurate to within 3 centimeters. Here it is on the
It's
map.
accurate within 3 centimeters.
Right, I want to see it on the map.
I don't have access to that particular
Yeah, I
map,
know,
but I do have
Rumpus.
access.
I
Well,
know
I
you
have
don't
the
have
information.
access to
I have a
it.
legal
That's my
obligation
point.
to give you that information.
I
to the
don't need it
accuracy
given from a
of the
third
Ordnance
party. I
Survey.
want to see it on the map.
They have a legal obligation to
don't care.
give you accurate information.
I couldn't care less.
You don't care
I want to see it on a
You don't care
map.
this authoritative
I've seen it on a
body,
map for
which
the
we
observer height. It
prosecuted
is
by
possible to
sailors
see it for
would
the
be-
lighthouse.
doesn't
It
have
is
to give
possible.
legally, accurate
So I want
information. You're a
that.
moron.
You've set this standard. We were using Google Earth for heights. Then you guys decided that you wanted to use Ordnance Survey. Apparently, Ordnance Survey accounts for curvature. It does all the things that you say it does. That's what
You
we'll
can see
use.
that Google Earth is wrong here in this picture. They think that's
great.
23 meters. You can see it's wrong.
Yeah.
They even admit themselves that it's only accurate to 30 meters. Why don't you listen to what Google Earth have got to say about their own data? You're ignoring
Excellent
what the
point.
people who are giving you this data are
Right,
telling
why
you.
would
Saying,
we?
no,
why would
it's
we
not
listen to
accurate to
Google
more than
Earth
30
about their
meters.
data?
Why
Very
don't you
good
listen
point,
to what they
Rumpus.
say?
Why would we? We
We're
don't.
testing
We're just
your
testing
model.
it because you guys do.
Yeah, it's like a small scale map. It's
Yeah, we
just
don't
like a
take
small scale
Rumpus
map.
to
So
answer your
accept
question.
that's the resolution
We
of it.
don't.
It's
We
fine.
all think
It's a
Google Earth's
working model.
nonsense because
It's
we
a
don't live on a
perfectly good
globe.
model, but
You
it's only
guys do.
accurate to
That's
30
why we are
meters.
using it, but you don't want to. You want to use Ordnance Survey maps. Until we
it's more
get something
accurate.
tricky,
It's accurate.
then you
What's
don't
up,
want to
hey,
use them. You want to use the
Lonnie,
Lighthouse
how's
Authority.
my volume come
That's the
through?
situation here. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's
that's
accurate
fine.
to 3 centimeters. Google Earth is only accurate to 30 meters. The difference of 100 times in accuracy. So you
Great.
pick the
So
more
let's use
accurate
the
one.
Ordnance Survey map. Brilliant. Let's see
Sorry,
it for the Lighthouse.
sorry guys. Welcome, Tony.
I can't.
And we can see the Google Earth is wrong here.
Welcome. You're most welcome. How are you doing, Tony?
You can see that Google Earth is in error just in this one picture. And
We
of
know
course it's
Google
going to
Earth's
be
an
wrong. When
error.
you've got a
The
big
Earth's not a
box
sphere,
like
Rumpus.
this,
That's
and
why
they
it's an
average
error.
out the height,
That's
you've got
why
a
it's an
cliff
error.
face,
That's
they're
why
gonna
it's not
get it
accurate.
completely
Because it's
wrong.
not a sphere.
So they pick an
The
average
Earth's
of those
flat.
4 points.
The Earth is flat, obviously and observably. That's why it's not represented on Google Earth correctly.
It's observably curved. Have you not seen a ship go over the horizon? You've not seen a
No,
sunset.
no, we have
You see the
ships
sunset?
on the
You
image.
see the
Anthony,
sunset?
can you show us a few ships on the horizon, please, that aren't disappeared? That are
Actually,
way,
no, it's
way
sunset,
beyond
Nathan.
what should be
Nathan,
obscured
it's a
by Earth curve.
distraction.
Any chance
Get
of
him
that?
over to Bala-Canal.
Yeah, Bala-Canal.
Yeah,
Let's get back onto
okay.
that. 2 hours of it yesterday. Thanks, Anthony. Good segue.
What do you want to know about
Let's
Bala-Canal?
deal with Bala-Canal, Rumpus, because you wouldn't commit yesterday, and neither would Paul. Let's see if we can get some committal from you today. Where do you think the evidence is identifying, please?
For what? So hold on. Let me get the. Would you want me to bring up the composite picture?
Do
Yeah,
whatever you
Rumpus,
want.
show
All I
them where
want to know
Douglas
is
is.
what is
That's where
what
they
is
want to
the-
know. They want to know where Douglas is.
What are the buildings that we see in the evidence, please? Can you
Right,
tell-
that building there. I can give you the coordinates of that build. This is the Bala-Canal. This is that what we've identified as the tuft of trees. I can give you the
Okay.
coordinates of that building there.
All right. So if you're going to say this is Bala-Canal, Rumpus, will you agree with me that the little land head that's to the left of the composite is the point that's in the video, the mount? Yeah, that mount there. That mount is evidenced in the on the Google Earth as the mount that I identified on the edge, please. Do you
No,
agree with that?
because I've got the bearings below here of the Bala-Canal. You can see this is the tuft of trees.
I'm not asking that. I'm asking the mount that you've got identified. Do you agree with me that it's the same point on the Google Earth? Yes or no?
I don't know what point of Google Earth you're claiming it is.
Yeah, we're not using Google Earth
Saw it
anymore.
10
remember?
times
Well, no, we are.
yesterday.
No, for this, no,
You saw
Google
it
Earth
10
is fine
times.
for this. No,
10
no, Google
times
Earth
you
is
saw it.
fine for this. We're not measuring here to resolutions of less than 30 meters. So Google Earth is a perfectly fine working model at this resolution.
So, Nath, would you present me to everyone so that they can see? Because what Rumpus is trying to do is make it out as he's done loads of hard work, and he probably has, but I want him to agree or disagree and tell me for the reason why it's the case that if you're going to say the Tufted Trees and Bala that you won't give the mount as identified on the model that you guys are applying. So,
well, that there is the mount, but the Douglas head is way over here to the left.
So hang on, let's just see that. Okay. So if we're now using Google Earth again, so
yeah, well, it's fine. At this resolution, let me just make
Rumpus,
it clear.
look at what's on screen.
Google Earth is fine.
Look at what's on screen. If we're now using this, can I now have do you give me that the bit on the land on the left hand side, this what you call the head or whatever it was that you called it? Do you agree with me now that this is actually?
No, you've got confused. If you just go straight up, where that hand is now, go straight up. That is the piece of land you're looking at. No, you've moved the hand away. Oh, damn.
Oh, sorry. What?
Move it to the right. Move it to down to the coast. Now move it to the right. Move to the right a bit more. Stop. That's the bit of land that you're looking at.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Because I can.
100% is.
Let me respond. Please let me respond.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So if we look into the evidence to see how accurate this claim is that your assertion now, let's just see it, right? So we move down to here. Now, if it is the case that this is Bala Canal and what you're saying is correct, we've got these 3 lights over here that now need to be identified.
And I've identified the exact location of those houses as well. I can tell you the exact coordinates.
So can you guide me to them? Because if you're saying that this,
yeah, okay, they're right. Go to the put your hand somewhere. I can't see where you are. Let me just check. Right, hold on. Let me just go to my picture. I've got it here. Just give me a second to go to my Google Earth. I can't share mine, unfortunately. Give me 2 seconds because I've got those very houses identified on here. Just let me compare. Where have I put them? Right, yeah, okay. They're just to the right of Baldrine. So let me go back to your screen.
Have you got your own composite now? Because in the at the end of one of the shows, you said you were going to make your own composite up. Have you done that?
Yes, I haven't done that. Right. So if you move your hand down, if you just zoom in a little bit, go to the left, hand to the left, stop. No, zoom in a bit more. Right, the hand to stop. Right, those 4 houses to the northeast of where you are. Move the hand up, and that's it. There you go. There we go. Those are the houses in that picture.
Can I just get a height on those houses, please? Can I get a height, please?
Is it your case that we're looking at these look like bungalows?
Are
you seriously telling me that these match these 3 here?
Correct. Absolutely correct. I've checked the angles and everything.
So okay, let's go with that. Where in relation to these 3 houses, where's this tuft of trees? In relation to so it has to be
okay. Now zoom out. So put a marker there for you, Anthony, just so you can keep track. Oh, yeah. So put a marker there or something. Those are where the 4 houses are.
I'll put it to the middle.
You name it name it there. Give it a name like 4 houses or something. And if you had a heading on, you didn't have a heading, of course, right? So now, if you twist round from the perspective of your view from St. Bees, and you will see that it's to the left of the tuft of trees that we identified. Which there you are. Okay,
let me just get back down to the relevant higher position. Hang on.
Yeah, but you're only have to go back again. If you just...
Yeah, but I want to see relative to the tuft of trees. So we've got
right, and the tuft of trees.
Hang on. Where's the place mark? Right, there's the place mark there.
Yeah, and the tuft of trees is just over that, just the top of this ridge. If you go straight ahead, there we go.
There's the tuft of trees.
Yeah, that's the tuft of trees there. Yeah.
All right, so let's just see whether we've got.
Can you put a mark on this tuft of trees so you know where we are talking about? Make it easier to get back.
I know what you're saying. So what you're saying is these are the houses.
Yeah.
There's the tuft of trees is just over the ravine there.
That's right.
These are the 3. Okay.
4. They're actually 4 houses. But
all right. So there's the houses. There's the tuft of trees, and there's your 3 houses.
Correct.
I would suggest that these are way squashed because this is over the distance we're looking at. These are nowhere near covering the distance of land that you claim they are.
They are absolutely. I can check that with the bearings. I can show you with bearings. If you for instance, if you use Peak Finder as well on this, you will find they exactly match up with what I'm saying. And I have got in my screen share the bearings.
All right, but Rumpus, it still appears to me to be the case that even if these 3 lights that are over here are these cottages that are here, it would mean that actually these cottages here, that would be there. So it would mean that this bit that's over here would still be this bit.
No, it wouldn't. If you just look at the distance between those, you can see if you just simply do a scale factor of the how to the tough to those to where there is, and you'll see if you double that again, it's about double, isn't it? Actually, from the Balakanal house to the thing. If you double it, you'll see you come to where I said for where that thing you're claiming is Douglas Head.
Let me respond in relation to the facts that we see. I don't know if you saw the early part of the hangout, but I haven't
been seeing anything.
What I did was I ring fenced all of the houses that are in here with a red line, and within the ring fence, your 3 houses that you're saying are them 3 things are within this ring. Now,
I've given you. You should have put down a marker. Why can't we see the marker you put down where I told you where to put?
I have done. It's called science fiction. That's your houses.
Right. Those are the 4 houses. Okay, so there you know where they are. Good.
Okay.
So now if you get Balakanal there, and you've got there's a tuft of trees right in front of you. I think that's
all right. So at 37.4 miles, let's just do the magic maths on it and see what happens. So we've got Metabunk, we've got 37.4, and I'm putting in 52 feet because that's
absolutely
what I want.
It's a factor of 2 wrong. It's a factor of 2 wrong. You mean it's pointless.
So you claim, but can't prove.
I've shown you on the ordnance survey that you're 115
all
feet.
Right. So then you have to show us the ordnance survey.
If you're using a thing that's only accurate to 30 meters, I use something that's accurate to 3 centimeters. Who's going to be more accurate?
On
me or
one
you?
side
me.
only.
So can you show me the ordnance survey?
I want to get this in. I'm going to get this in. Rumpus, you have only got ordnance survey measurements on one side of the observation. So at this stage, are you happy to use Google Earth on both sides? Or are you going to get a coordinate survey map so that we can look at this observation on it? Listen to me, Rumpus.
What you're saying, I'll say it
Listen to me. I'll do it. Hold on, Anthony. Let me just explain it to him. You have very accurate ordnance survey map for the observation point only. So therefore, we can't get this measurement from Google Earth. If you want to do this measurement, we have to do it with an ordnance survey map or use Google Earth because we need the same on both sides. So, let me just clarify. If you're happy to completely drop this point and never ever come back to it, then that's fine. The point being, you just want to abandon it because you can't get access to, or don't want to use the ordnance survey map.
What am I abandoning? Sorry, I'm abandoning something apparently.
Rumpus, he's saying if you're going to use ordnance survey at the other end of the observation up here at St. Bees, then it's only fair, correct, and accurate to do so over here too.
Well, okay, I'll go. There is the leisure map can tell me what the height is. Okay, if you want me to, I'll go to the leisure map.
I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Leisure map's fine. If you can show me the leisure map.
Rumpus.
Yeah, I will. I'll go to the
fine. Let's see it. Let's get this height of these houses from the leisure map. Happy to do that.
Let's do it live. Let's do it live.
Okay, let me go and okay, I'll screen share my.
Let's do it live.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll screen share things. You can do it live. Yes.
Ordnance survey, Balakanal.
Yeah. So I will screen.
And this is what it looks like when they know that they are losing and they need to be anal and get the right stuff in. So good job, guys. And we already know you're not looking for the truth because you said it yesterday, Nathan. You said take your truth and take it someplace else.
Yes.
Only take your dogma elsewhere, not your truth. We are debating what is truth. If you decide that you have come to the conclusion of truth, then you can leave because you've already made your decision. You don't need to be here. You don't need to debate it if you've already made your decision, do you?
Well, wait, someone's got to be truthful because you guys aren't. You guys are the biggest liars I've ever seen in my life, actually.
Right. Okay.
Paul,
I'll
thanks.
screen grab the. I've got.
Tony,
finally
thanks.
found the right window.
How do you spell Balakanal?
Here we go.
Right, I'll go with Baldrine.
Right. Oh, bloody hell, I've got them right. Hold on, I'm just going to flat. It's going to my trial. Right, let's go over to here. Can you see this in my sharing?
No, you're not showing it at the minute. I'm just trying to find an ordnance survey map for Ireland. Have you found
you're
one?
sharing with the audience.
Yes,
Rumpus,
yeah,
go ahead.
yes. I'm just
You
doing
are
on
sharing.
slide thing. Mine, am I not screen sharing mine?
No, you were.
Oh, sorry. I was told I wasn't. Okay.
Just don't pay attention to other panel members when it comes to things like what's being shared. Just listen to me.
Damn it! Now I've lost which one is the one I want. I think it's this. This is the one I want. Is it? Is that zooming in and out? Is that?
That's perfect.
Can you see that
Brilliant.
changing
Thank you.
shape?
The audience
So I
can
know
see
which.
you.
I've
You're
got two
golden.
maps now. I can't tell which one. I should be sharing. Hold on. Just. Oh no, we're not sharing. There's nothing happening in the on screen.
We're watching you, Rumpus.
Well, I can. Looking at the
Don't worry about what's happening, Rumpus.
Right, you can see
take
that.
my
Okay,
word
great.
for it.
Okay. Sure, but I've got too many bloody windows open. Right. Okay, so oops. Right. So unfortunately, they don't have the high resolution one, but we can use the leisure Oz map for this. Right. So I'm trying to find those. Right. So those houses, which right. So there we go. There's Balak. Oh, your bloody thing does that when it goes. It doesn't have the high res, unfortunately, on the. When you click zoom too much. Right, here we go. So if I click again, unfortunately, it will disappear. So I've got to be very careful about my clicking. So there's Canal. So I said, damn it. Okay, I've got to get the coordinates that I've already worked out so I can tell you where those houses are. Hold on a second. I need to go reference that. Those four houses that I was telling you about are at.
They look like they're at 100.
Hold on. Oh, you bastard! Stop.
Rumpus, it looks like 100 to me. Would you agree?
Sorry, I'm just having a. Right, they're on that road that goes into Baldrain. Okay, let's go.
It looks like 100 to me, Rumpus.
Hold on.
Let him
So
get there.
they are at Baldrain. Where's? Yeah, so I think they are about. Yeah, about 100 meters. It looks like perhaps 80 meters. In fact, yeah, more like 80 meters. In fact.
Okay, so let's put them figures in. Well, hang on.
80 meters. That's not feet. That's 80 meters.
To be honest, Rumpus, there's a 100 and it goes straight down the main road. It's
okay. Well, okay. We'll take it as 100 then. Okay. If you want.
All right. Let's put the figures in. Nath, do you want to go back to me, mate?
Yeah.
So distance in miles, we've got a fixed value. We're all right, and we'll have to go to metric.
Well, yeah. Well, you've got your now put in 100. It's 120 feet. No, it's not. No. The viewer height is 35 meters. So you've got your too high.
35 meters.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So the refracted hidden is 93 meters, and you've got
exactly at 100 meters. So we should be able to see them. Indeed, we can.
No, we
hang
can
on.
see
Let's see. Does it match the observation?
Can we see all of it and the ground beneath them?
That's the point. So what you're saying is these three lines, these three dots that are the sci-fi things.
Right.
You're saying these are basically sat on the horizon.
Right.
So according to, hold on, I'll reiterate it, Rumpus.
Okay,
Rumpus, your maths has brought the chimneys back. Do we see below the chimneys, Rumpus? Rumpus, do we see below the chimneys?
13 degrees Celsius that day, Rumpus. Remember, 13 degrees Celsius that day.
Tony, shut your mouth. Rumpus, do we see the chimneys or do we see below them?
Bit rude. Blimey.
Can we let Rumpus and Anthony talk?
Chimneys? What?
I'm asking Rumpus a question, Rumpus. Can we see the chimneys or do we see the ground beneath them? There's the figures on screen for you.
On screen, I can only see a picture of a cloud.
It says there is 119 meters of earth curve obscuring something that is 100 meters above sea level, and yet we see below it to the ground. According to those dimensions, I would say we see about 100 meters below them.
Well, you've no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, there we go. According to your maths, Rumpus, we can't see them at all.
Yes, we can. 93.99 meters.
Yeah,
Well,
is that lower than 119? Is that lower than 119?
Only a tiny change in the refraction thing, as I've shown.
A tiny change in the refraction would bring back the chimneys. We see below them.
What chimney? What are you talking about chimneys for?
They are at 100 meters, and you have brought back 7. We don't see 7 meters of the tops of the buildings. We see below them. Do you understand that, Rumpus?
I can't see anything on the screen except clouds.
Show him how much is below the buildings, and show him where he is brought back to, please, Anthony. Hold on, Rumpus. For the audience's benefit, please can you show how much Rumpus has brought back, and show where we see It's obvious where we can see.
I can only see clouds. We've got a screenshot of clouds on the Hangout.
See
so
this
I can't
line,
see-
Rumpus? See this
Oh, here
line?
we go.
That's how much you've bought back.
You gave the value, Rumpus, that they were at 100 feet, 100 meters.
100 meters, that's right.
Right,
But on
there
the
you go.
calculations, when you use the distance, 93 meters is obscured. So I agree, you can see them. However, that's all you can see. But we're seeing all this other land, Rumpus.
So why isn't that
there's
blocked?
So we've got 10 meters, just about 10 meters should be below. So
No,
93 meters.
we've got 7 meters. We've got the tops of their roofs.
Where's the rest of the land coming from, Rumpus?
Right. Well, then we need to work out. Well,
No, we don't need to work anything out. We've just worked it out, and you failed.
No,
how tall is 13 degrees Celsius.
How tall's the house? Do you think it's how tall's the house, Rumpus?
Actually, hang on.
How tall is a house, Rumpus?
Hang on, it's not even that. We need to apply the first value of 119 meters first, which puts them below that point because they're only at 100 meters. Then you're going to argue refraction.
No, we're talking about the base. On the road.
So,
the base
sorry,
of that road
I
is
missed that.
100
You're right. Unless we're claiming that there's some refraction going on here, which we haven't got to yet, they are completely hidden. Hold on. They're completely and utterly hidden behind Earth curve in your bizarre world that you think you live in.
Refraction that happens in real life. We know
Right,
this.
so let's see how much comes back with refraction.
Let's calculate the refraction then, Rumpus. We've got 93. It drops down from 119 meters to 93. So now we'll put the value in for refraction.
Anthony,
we draw the line, and we know that it's about 100 meters.
Well, hold on,
so
Anthony,
that's where it makes a difference.
You're not
It goes
forgetting.
from
You're
the
just
up there
arbitrarily putting a
to
line
down
there.
there. So now, Rumpus, we can see them with a little bit of refraction.
Right, Anthony, so each
Can you
white
show
dot is
one
a
more
house,
thing,
yeah?
Anthony, just to demonstrate that point? So you're saying that's about how much refraction is. Can you show how much the refraction is at the other end of the island where we actually experience and can see refraction, just so we can see if that's approximately what refraction would be, where we actually see it?
One thing we haven't done, of course. You have to add on the tide because it's a 5-meter tide. Or possibly even more. You've got to subtract another 5 meters from what's visible.
Hold on.
so
Whoa,
we'll go down
whoa,
by
whoa, whoa,
low
whoa.
tide.
We've got a height of the
5
land.
meters.
We've got a height of the land off the Ordnance Survey, and we've put that figure in at the observation height.
Yes,
we've got the
if
same
you've got the
figure
tide
for.
is low,
We've got the
those
same figure
heights on the Ordnance
from the
Survey
same
above
source.
sea
Hold
level.
on, Rumpus, let me talk. We've got the same figure, and now you're saying we need to make an adjustment because you failed.
No, I haven't failed.
Yeah,
So
we've
let's
got
account for the
figures
tide. We'll
from
give
the
you a
maps.
pixel for the
We've
tide.
got the target height
Nathan,
from the
do you
map and put the
understand the
number in.
height of those
We've got
houses
the
in the
target height from the map and we've put the
understand
number
that?
in. We've got the
you
observer height
understand
from the
the
map and
height
we've put the number in.
of the
You
Ordnance Survey
failed,
above
and now
mean
you're
sea
saying,
level?
no, we need to minus off
Do you
something.
understand the heights are above mean sea level?
Right, you've
Rumpus,
not brought
we'll
it back.
give you a
You
picture.
Do you
failed.
understand that the heights are given for above mean sea level?
Rumpus, we'll give you a pixel for the variation in the
No,
tide.
you've not even given me the 10 meters plus
even know
another
what pixel
5.
is.
So we've got 15 meters to play. Well, very nearly 15 meters.
Okay,
give
hold
you a
on.
pixel.
Hold on,
I just
Rumpus.
gave
How
you
many
100
meters
meters and you
do we
only
see
said
below
80.
these buildings?
Well, again, I'm looking at.
Just give me an answer, roughly. I don't mind rounding it down. Just give me a rough answer. How much below the buildings do we see? Because we'll start aiming for
I
that
can't
figure.
see anything because you're not sharing the right goddamn screen. I'm looking at water here.
Right, what we can see is a line with buildings. I'm going to tell the audience what we see. We see a line with buildings. If you're going to start saying we need to adjust for tide, I'm going to say the target that you're aiming for needs to be considerably lower than what we're going for. So we were going for a target of 100. Obviously, we can see. Obviously, we can see below 100. Would you agree that we obviously see below 100,
I
Rumpus?
can't see anything because you're not sharing the right screen on the Hangout.
Yeah, no, you're a moron and you can't keep up with your own windows. We are sharing it. The audience can
No,
see it. Don't
no,
play
no,
dumb.
no.
Don't play dumb. We do see below these
the
buildings,
Hangout, I
Rumpus.
can
So if
only
you're going to
see
start adjusting for sea level, I'm going to start saying we'll adjust the target we're going for to what we're going for, which is below
And
the
other people
buildings,
in the
way
Hangout
below.
see that what
So
it's
you want to
supposed to
adjust
be
for sea level? I'm going to
Yes,
say we're
yes,
not going for
you
100 anymore.
blatantly doing
Let's
that's the best
say we'll go for
Right.
let's say we'll go for
You're
10.
deliberately doing this, are you, Nathan?
No, you're adjusting for sea level, and I'm saying we see more than the bottoms of the buildings. We see way below them. That's our target. Hold on, I'm going to show you visually. Anthony, can you show anywhere between the sea level and the buildings an arbitrary line that we can go for? Any line that is below them.
And
So
it's-
there's
yeah.
the buildings. Anything between here and if you move your mouse down,
Right. So, this is it. Right. We've got based on the maths that he's put us in. The first value hidden is 119. That puts it above the houses. They're missing behind the curve of the Earth. But when we allow for a bit of refraction, which is based on an apparent radius of the Earth, it drops a little bit below them because
you've no idea what scale you're using.
The value of the road height is 100 meters, Rumpus.
So there's no need to get any scale. It is obvious. No, let me just say it's obvious that we see considerably more than the height of a house below it. So no matter what you tell me a height of a house is, if you say a house is 5 meters, we see minimum 30 meters below it.
Well, of course we don't know. Of course we don't know. When you look at
we do know. We know the height of a house, and we can extrapolate it like Lou does with fence posts. We can just extrapolate it because you don't have an accurate map. So by my extrapolation, if a house, even if that house was 3 meters high, minimum there is 20 meters below that house, minimum. So I'm going to say, if you're going to start fiddling with the figures, the target that we're going for is going to drop because what we've taken it from is the house line, and we see below it.
I've had a suggestion. There's been some suggestion that those aren't the exact. I've put those houses right in line.
Excellent. There might be a misidentification. Let's move on. Excellent, Rumpus. So we've messed up the position. Let's move on and find the houses that you do want to measure. I can do this all day.
Rumpus, where's the suggestion
man, you're trolling, man. We got to leave this. This is just silly, man.
Off you go, Alex. It was very nice having you here. You're welcome back on the next show. Goodbye, Alex. Bye. Let's just say let's all say a nice goodbye to Alex. Bye.
No, I'll leave already. I mean,
Alex. See you later. Nice having you. Yeah, when we prove the Earth is flat, you want to go. Yeah, when we prove it's flat and there's nothing obscuring our view, you want to go. I understand. See ya.
You're going to talk never leave your house, Nathan. You're like a woman.
Geostraber wants to come in and make a contribution.
If Alex is going, let Alex go. No,
I didn't say I was going. I was just saying we should stop talking about this.
Everyone else should go. Okay, you tell everyone else. You see how many people pay attention. 140 people watching you now, Alex. Listening to what an idiot you are.
Don't listen to anybody. You act rude. You talk over everybody.
Yeah, I do. Right. Embarrassment. There's no curve. You're trying to tell me there is, and I don't like it. You're trying to tell me there's a curve there, and I don't like it, Alex. There isn't one. I can see it. There's none. There's nothing obscuring it. There is not 119 meters obscuring my view of those houses, Alex. I can see them. I can see them. You don't like me. You don't like hearing this. I can see them because they're there, Alex.
What's the point of that, mate?
I can see them because they're there. It's evidenced. Now you're telling me with maths that there's curve in the way. There isn't any curve in the way, Alex. So far, Rumpus has failed to demonstrate any curvature in the way. None. He hasn't showed me any curve blocking these houses. We see them, and we see below them, Alex. If you don't like that, you can sod off as well. No fanfare. Probably less fanfare than Grim got. So you can go, Alex. Nobody's wanting you here. You have nothing to offer. You don't understand most of the arguments. So if you want to go, because it's upsetting, you can go.
Can't help him.
You can go. Nobody's stopping you. No one's asking you to be here.
I'm not going. No, you
good.
To kick
nice
me.
to have
I'm
you.
quite happy here.
Good to have you here, Alex. Nice to have you. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. I know it's great to be here. Thank you.
Right, Rumpus. I'm going to ask you some questions. Right,
don't ask any more questions, Riley.
I think
start answering questions. We're sick of hearing about your stupid nonsense about this.
No, that's not correct, Alex. If you're sick of hearing it, you can go. You continue to disrupt this. Now, Alex, you just said you want to be here, presumably because you want to listen. Listen, Alex, if you continue to disrupt, I'm just going to eject you, Alex.
I can talk over people, Nathan. I don't care because you do it, so I can't do it.
Yeah, but I have a lot of people that do care, mate. That's the whole point. If you don't care,
moron.
You should jog on. That's the whole point.
Listen, let me speak with Rumpus, please. Let's stay on topic because it's just being disruptive. Alex,
you're taking the mick out of Rumpus. You think you're making all this stuff. You don't listen to it.
Yeah, we've got to the point where we've demonstrated there's no curvature and they're all trolling.
It's not the make or break. It's the make or break.
There's no curve in the way, Alex. I'll just keep saying it. There's no curve in the way. No Earth curve blocking our view. You're getting angry about it. Let's hear everybody trolling and angry while we point out there's no curve. No curvature blocking our view.
Digging yourself into a bigger hole.
Right,
it's not there. It's not obscuring anything.
Let's go with Rumpus, please, because Rumpus is making efforts.
Let's just troll.
Rumpus is making genuine efforts. Let's go with Rumpus. Rumpus, I agree with you that you need to reposition your houses because based on the evidence,
I think there just might be a case of
Rumpus. Listen, please listen. The three houses we can see just below the horizon point. I'm going to assert to you that the three houses that we see are the ones that I originally said that if we were going to go with Baldrine, they're these three that do sit just below the surface of the horizon line, because it would be consistent. Because you can have your trees from a distance, you can have your trees lined
you
up.
don't have to be nice to him, Rumpus. You don't have
These
to.
people are mentally
Call him
unwell.
moron. He's being
Yeah, well,
stupid.
I mean, Anthony, if we look at the bearings
Why
on
are
the
you
house,
listening to him? Don't even listen to him. He's
No,
dumb.
we're looking at the evidence, Rumpus. We're
No,
trying
you're
to
not.
find
You're
things
not.
that match. Now, if you're saying it's Baldrine, I'm saying that these three houses are actually these three houses that sit just below the horizon because it matches the evidence, okay? Now, what I'm asking you is, do you disagree? In fact, actually, if you look at this bit here, there's also a little bit there that drops off. So
Yeah,
I would agree that these houses are the ones that we're actually looking at. Can we go with this?
No, because it's wrong.
Okay, so
I can demonstrate absolutely 100% the angles I showed.
Said that about the other houses that were
and
over
Bala
here, and now
Canal,
you're backtracking.
and I've demonstrated. I showed you on my scale view earlier how it cannot be possible for that to be.
But you said it was these houses over here, and now you're being fed apparently because we put right. Hang on, Rumpus, we put a place marking.
I mean, you've caught me when I've just. I've only just
Rumpus,
established
listen.
those houses.
You told me before that these were the houses, and you were dead precise. So we put a line in. It doesn't work with the curves now, and now you're telling me that.
I must admit that there is a discrepancy. I accept that the four houses that I've identified the location, there is more of a gap than I would expect, even allowing for a bit more refraction. So I'm going to have to think about that. So I've got a discrepancy. Now, whether I've misidentified the houses, I don't think I have, or there's something else. I'm even allowing for the tide to say there's more of a gap than I would expect for the same stuff, because things like the position of the White House to the right of the tuft of trees is about the right level. I haven't been through all these figures yet, fortunately, rigorously to give a full presentation on this. But there's more of a gap at the moment that I'm going to have to go and resolve somehow.
Yeah, but you've calculated it accurately, Rumpus. So why is it not right?
Me that there are four other buildings, but I'm not sure that they're right.
That's a good point. Didn't you tell us how accurately at the beginning of the show you had measured these houses and told us all about how you triangulated them? Are you saying that you were wrong?
Okay. Hold on, let me finish, Nathan.
They were obviously wrong because he knows exactly where all these houses are.
You calculated them incorrectly. You're fallible.
No, what I've identified is their bearings. So if you look at the
consistency, you got it wrong.
They're not matching the evidence, are they?
It doesn't match.
And from the bearing information, I absolutely know that is.
Do you know how much ridicule you have given people when they get things like this wrong, Rumpus? Do you have any idea how much ridicule I've listened to you give people? You've called them morons, stupid, that they don't understand maths. You're a moron, Rumpus. You don't understand maths. What a moron.
You've made the claim that you can identify any building on this photo.
Yes, I can
and when you've
identify
done
the
it,
bearings.
you've realised that it doesn't suit the Rumpus.
Misidentified them. This is a moron. What a moron, Rumpus. Stay here and tolerate my abuse. Stay here and tolerate my abuse, you moron.
Nathan, when you point the
Miscalculated
finger, there's three
it, measured it wrong. Just an idiot. Totally incompetent, aren't you, Rumpus?
Nathan, you would be completely incapable of doing.
Did you misidentify the houses, regardless of your measurements? You got them wrong.
You don't.
You stutter when you are cornered. Stutter, that's what you do. Your speech impediment that people in the comments think you have is just a tell that you're cornered.
Yeah, he's cornered. Completely cornered.
Completely cornered. He's misidentified them. They're the wrong houses. His maths is wrong. You're an idiot, Rumpus. Let's just give you some of the abuse you give other people on this panel, Rumpus. You moron. You got it wrong, you moron.
Nathan. Dude, you work part-time for Tesco for a living and you're calling him a
and I'm
moron.
humiliating Rumpus. He feels like he's some tough elite guy.
Nathan?
Moron.
So I want... Nathan? Hello, Nate. Hello.
Nathan's very triggered right now, so he might not be listening.
Nathan?
No, he's pointing out that Rumpus claims to be able to identify anywhere on this map, but when it comes to it and he tries to identify and it doesn't line up with his premise, then he wants to change it and he hopes that we'll just accept it because, that must be wrong then. No, that's not acceptable, Rumpus. Your claim is that you can identify any building on this, but when you do identify and we apply the curve calcs and it's below the curve, that's a problem. That is a problem. And it's been sniped now, which is rather unfortunate, but coincidentally perfectly timed, so I can now speak. Rumpus, if you're going to identify these houses, and I'm not against them being these houses, you've got to give me that the land to the left is that head. That's the reality.
Yeah, as for my abuse of Rumpus, the amount of times I've sat on this panel and heard him see someone make a mistake and then basically abuse them. So I'm just
and he does it with ranting all the time.
He's going to get abused from me. Called the same things he calls other people. Yes, Brenda.
Nathan, where's the beach?
Oh, we're back to this
There is no
crap little
beach,
point.
Brenda. It's rocks.
Crap little point that Brenda's brought back from the beginning. This is what Globers do. We go back to the beginning. Well, we're not going to let you go back to the beginning, Rumpus.
Where's the beach,
Brenda,
Nathan?
there should be all of that land that we saw that Rumpus misidentified. That should all be hidden behind Earth Curve. You realise that, right, Brenda?
Nath, put my screen on and let me answer Brenda.
Okay, give me 30
Where's the
seconds.
beach?
I'll show you, Brenda. Be patient. Let me know, Nath.
You're not screen sharing yet, or you're not intending to.
No, I was going to do. Right, sorry, you're right. I wasn't screen sharing. You should see it now.
Yeah.
Let me know when Brenda can see it.
Brenda can, and then just get into the audience.
Mm-hmm.
No,
in
go
your
ahead. Everyone
photograph.
should be able to see everyone.
Not on
All right,
not on Google Earth. On your
Yeah,
photograph.
so- All right, so in the evidence, Brenda, we can see houses, buildings, or towns, or whatever this is, we can see it. The assertion
the
by
beach?
Rumpus is that these three lines and this one over
Where's
here
the beach? Where's the beach, Riley?
is identified here. As you can see,
Where's the
Brenda,
beach?
there is no beach. We're seeing down
There
to
is
the
no
rocks.
beach. Why? Why can't I see a beach?
Sorry, are you now going to concede your crap point, Brenda, or are you going to continue to ask about the beach
Where's
that
the
isn't
beach?
there?
Where's the beach?
There is no beach,
Brenda?
you moron.
Why
There
can't
is no
I see a
beach.
beach?
There is no beach, Brenda, because
Why
God didn't
can't I
put any
see
Well
beach
done,
there.
Brenda.
There's
Well
right-
done. You're a credit to the Globers. Well done.
Brenda, God didn't put any beach there on this occasion. There is no
Yes.
beach. And guess what? When we
I'd
go all
call
the way
that the
around here,
coast.
Brenda, there is no
I'd
beach.
call that the beach. Yes, I'd call it
There
a
is no beach.
I don't care what you call it, Brenda. You're a moron.
There's no beach, Brenda. God didn't put a beach here when he decided to make this part because he didn't. So the fact that there's no beach for us to see doesn't make any difference, Brenda. Stop
Any further
trolling.
crap objections, Brenda?
But what we can see, Brenda, is based on where these houses that now Rumpus claims he's now correctly identified after failing the first two attempts, we can see that there is the right on the horizon and there's a big gap between the sea. When we look there, they appear to be right on the horizon and there appear to be a big gap between the horizon and the sea. So the answer to the question is, where's the beach? On this occasion, there is no beach. But guess what? If you were to count the pixels between how many houses how many pixels there are between the top and how many there should be to the bottom, we're seeing pretty much all of it. So we may not see the beach if there was one, Brenda, but on this occasion, there isn't a beach.
To
So
be
there's
clear,
no
Brenda,
beach to see.
there is no Earth curve obscuring our view. None. Flat Earth.
There's a massive amount of missing curvature. Now, I don't even agree that we're in the correct cove. I agree. My position is that we're in Douglas because everything else lines up. Now, I agree that there are elements to this that may well match up. Not all elements, but certainly some that may. And I'm not against it being Balacanal. What I'm interested in is if this is Balacanal, I want this part to be identified on the evidence. And if it is this part that we're looking at, it means that this little bit here is this head that we're looking at here. And I know this because this bit behind is, what's it called? Douglas Point. This is Douglas Head in the background. So we have this head that's here, if we're in the right cove, and we have Douglas Head here. Now, as we pick our elevation up, we can see that there's Douglas Head behind. So I'm not against it being this. However, my position is that we have there's the trees. Oops, let's get this back down. There's the clump of trees. There's the three buildings. And the head that we're looking at here, this head that's here, is this lower head that's here. And then this other bump that's behind it, if we change our elevation, you can already see it in the picture. So if I zoom out, you can see the elevation of land behind it, but we're looking on this line of sight. So we're looking down here, there's the Douglas Head, and there's the other head. So it doesn't really matter which is which. I don't care if it's Balacanal or if it's Douglas. The point is, once you go beyond that point, there's very, very little land left. But in the evidence, there is an awful lot of land that's here that cannot be explained with it being Douglas, Isle of Man. Nath, do you want to take over for a minute while I grab this?
Yeah, no worries. We've been sniped to all hell, so there's no one on the panel at the minute apart from someone called Sniper. How you doing, Sniper?
Doing well. How about you?
think Sniper's been sniped as well. So yeah, I'll do a quick...
I'm here. I'm still here, as far as I know.
Oh, cool. Fair enough.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, when we got to the point that we were pointing out that there was no Earth curve, everybody got sniped. Got a few guests back. Mike, Dark Star, new guest. How you doing, Dark Star?
They don't want the truth.
Hello?
Hello, good to have you. We've only got a couple of minutes left anyway, maybe 5 minutes left approximately.
Just, I guess we have much time left. I was wondering, can I just ask a quick question? Why are we only focusing on that one area of the island rather than the entire island? Are there other parts
Because
that
that area of the island should be covered by curvature, which isn't there. So it kind of proves that the curvature is bunk.
Where's the coast?
I was just wondering, there must be other landmarks that we can use to sort of figure out what's what, you know?
Yeah, the problem is that they are all visible. Any landmark that's visible shouldn't be. It should be behind Earth curve in almost every instance.
Where's the coastline?
Yeah, that's the point that Brenda made earlier, where you're not paying attention.
I'll do it again for them, Nathan. I'm on stop.
You
Right,
guys
okay.
picked apart the word beach instead of...
No, we haven't. That was the word that we were presented with. We were presented with the word beach, and we've shown that there is no beach. So now I'll show you, for the benefit of you, where the coastline is. When we look on the evidence, we can see that the 3 dots that may well be this area of Bala are sat right on the horizon. We notice in the evidence that there is a big gap below them, okay? So when we go to Google Earth, the model that they don't like using because it doesn't work when it comes to elevations, we can see that if we go back to the corner that they say it is, we can see that these are the claims. This is what they're now claiming is the accurate model that they're using because they can calculate it precisely, and that has been demonstrated not to be correct. We can see that there's 3 houses.
That
and there's
rocky
potentially
there. Where is it?
Mike, shut up and listen to the answer.
So when we go down to the observation height that we're at, which is pretty much flat, it's about 40 to 50 to 90 to 1,000 feet. Doesn't matter what figure you put in. We're seeing that the 3 lines, the 3 dots appear just below the horizon, and it matches the observation point, okay? And we can also see there's a big gap underneath. So what that means is, if there's a big gap underneath consistent with the model, that we may well be looking at the right place, but if we are seeing pretty much down to the rocks. I haven't calculated all the pixels, but I would challenge Rompus or Paul to do this for me, because I don't want to do anything because I can't do the maths. I'm stupid. But the 3 lines that we see there, the 3 dots and that little bit over there, seem to match up perfectly with these 3 lines over here. And this thing that's over here. So the answer to your question is, where's the coast? The coast is evident in the image, unless somebody can prove me wrong. It looks like they're sat on the horizon, and it appears to match with the evidence. There's a big gap underneath, and it would appear that when we go back to the actual model that you guys don't like using, it supports it scale-wise. But again, I make the point, this is not my assertion. This is not my position. I don't think we'll see houses that are from 35 miles away that are all, for all intensive purposes, a cottage. I don't think we'll see it. I think they're too small.
I don't see a rocky coast.
I don't think we'll see houses because I think they're too small. Now, you don't see a rocky coast because...
I don't see a rocky coast.
Because there's something called angular size limitations of a camera, okay? But if I say that there is a rocky coast down there because it fits in... No. If I say that if these are the 3 houses we're looking at, and I make the claim that you can count the pixels and get down to the shoreline, if it happens to be the same ratio, the only reason why you're not seeing them is because there's waves. But I think there's a line there that I'm going to claim is the rocks. Prove me wrong. There's your answer.
And with that, I'm going to say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning into this debate and sharing the show. And if you've not done so already, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.